at 7 a.m. Our weekend winners at 8. And Sports Illustrated Ross Dellinger joins the show at 8:30. Follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch the show live over at the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Interact inside the Bayou Ford chat. And make sure you're subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channel. Set your notifications. New content is posted there daily. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Off and at it off the bench, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio in New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria. Online at 1045ESPN.com. Good Monday morning to you. Jordy Collada, T-Bob Hebert, Matthew Musso, Danny Cardenas here with you. Up until 10 a.m. this morning. We'll talk college football with Ross Dellinger coming up at 8:30 this morning. Sports Illustrated college football writer Dellinger here with us every Monday morning on OTB, as is Verge Ausberry, Executive Deputy Director of Athletics over at LSU, will react to LSU falling to 1-2 on the season and out of the AP poll for the first time in a long time. Catch you up inside of your headlines.
It's Tell the Truth Monday.
Weekend winners, Bo Pelini not one. His agent is.
And you got some tough truths coming today if you are an LSU fan. In fact, it's quite seasonally appropriate. Like this excellent cobweb-themed off-the-bench logo that Danny has made. I don't know that LSU fans will watch anything more terrifying this October than the last two defensive performances that you have seen in these losses.
Oh, I can scare you.
I mean, it is some really horrible stuff, some really scary stuff.
You want to get spooked?
Borderline unthinkable.
Kyle Trask in Florida coming off of a loss in front of 90,000 this weekend in the Swamp.
Yeah, did you see Lane Kiffin in that offense? How are you going to fare against that? I mean, look at what the Mississippi
Sam
State...
Pittman in Arkansas.
Look at what the Mississippi State and Mizzou offenses have done in games not against LSU. And then understand that you're effed. Like,
we're here
are
until
in
10
deep
a.m.,
trouble.
driven and powered by All-Star Toyota. Remember, on YouTube, get inside of the at 104.5 ESPN station. Bayou Ford chat app is up if you want to get inside. Weekend winners coming here at 8 o'clock this morning. Your headlines, new sponsor here on Headlines. Welcome aboard BBQ, guys, as they've been around since 1998. Remember, over at BBQ, guys, they are a one-stop shop for everything outdoor, kitchens, and living. Welcome aboard, Jason Stutes and the great team over there at BBQ, guys. Looking forward to going to see the facility tomorrow morning. Here are your headlines on this Monday, October 12th.
Headlines on Off the Bench.
LSU is out of the AP college football poll for the first time since 2017 and is the first defending national champ to drop from the rankings in 9 years. Number 1, Clemson. Number 2, Alabama. Number 3, Georgia held steady atop of the rankings. LSU dropped out after number 17, from number 17 after falling to 1-2 with a 45-41 loss to Missouri. LSU had been ranked in the polls for 43 straight weeks dating back to November 5th of 2017, the 7th longest active streak in the nation. The last defending national champ to be unranked was Auburn in 2011. LSU is on the road this weekend to face Florida. Here is Ed Ogeron after the game on Saturday.
Too many missed assignments. I mean, guys running wide open down the field. I mean, that's the number one thing. And too many missed calls, whether we in and out or whether we zoning and stuff like that. One guy's in and out and the other zoning and it didn't work as a touchdown. We just got to eliminate that stuff. And we had some missed tackles. We had the guys in position to make some plays. And then we got beat one-on-one.
I said this on Whiskey and Wine Saturday, and then I went back and watched the game on Saturday. You know how difficult it is to watch a television copy of a football game and see a defender out of the shot? see a one-on-one shot of an offensive player and there's no defensive player anywhere on the television screen. That happened to LSU 3 times on Saturday. I mean, that is impossible, almost nearly impossible to see at an elite level football game, high level college, NFL game, to see offensive players run defenders out of the television shot. That happened to LSU's defense 3 times on Saturday.
So I would make a social distancing joke there, but really the LSU defense is the joke. So I don't know if that even needs to be expounded upon. So, I mean, I watched the game for 4 hours last night. Like, deep dive, really looking at everything. And I have never in my life seen a defense look so confused, slow, or discombobulated. Nobody being on the same page. Simple motions creating knock-on effects and guys trying to figure out what their responsibilities do, where almost every single play, half the team isn't set. Nobody has no idea what they're running. They're getting caught flat-footed. I mean, it is it's stunning. It's actually honestly stunning in how bad it was. And what that resulted in, Jordy, is against an offense featuring a Cat making his second ever start, missing 3 of his top 5 receivers due to COVID, an offense that had scored 3 touchdowns coming into the game and had been terrible in every single facet of the game. They had 19 plays go for 10 yards or more. 8 went for 20 or more. They gassed you consistently all night long. I tweeted out my full notes on the 19 plays because I wanted to track and break down how every single one went wrong. And it is a parade of errors. It's honestly laughable that this is what you're deep. And I don't care. Look, we'll get into all of this. Anytime it's this bad, there's issues all over the place. So yes, there are definitely personnel issues, right? Like maybe at its best, this is an average defense anyway. But good coaching mitigates personnel issues. Bad coaching exacerbates it. And right now, you are making it worse. And that defense, we overuse phrases, that defense was an unmitigated disaster on Saturday.
It wasn't all defense either. Give the ball to John Emery. What are you doing? Play your best players. We'll talk more LSU coming up here.
We get into Emery. I think I feel a bit different than the public on the Emery thing. But we'll get into that later.
He had 4 touches.
I know, but he dropped 2 balls. The O-line couldn't block the run game at all. But, well, look, the offense has stuff to fix too, right? Obviously, 0 of 10 on 3rd down is also kind of crazy. I've never heard of that. But those just pale in comparison, like I said, to the train wreck, unmitigated disaster that you are witnessing defensively.
Saints have ruled out Michael Thomas for tonight's game against the Los Angeles Chargers, with sources telling ESPN that the decision came after the star wide receiver had an altercation with teammate at practice this weekend, CJ Gardner Johnson. So it's not CD Deuce?
I guess CD Deuce is his rap name.
Okay.
So I think that like all journalists and everybody, we've decided that it's still CJ Gardner Johnson.
Thomas had been listed as questionable with an ankle injury, but the Saints updated his status Sunday to out, saying the change was not related to the injury. The 3-time Pro Bowl selection and 2-time All-Pro has 3 catches for 17 yards in his only action this season versus Tampa Bay in Week 1. Saints kick off tonight versus the Chargers at 7:15 in the Dome. They're 7.5-point favorites.
Bro, how bad did that altercation have to be? I mean, when you're staring down
that's a couple of alphas right there, bro.
When you're staring down that San Diego defense with their defensive ends, and you think about how much how much Mike Thomas could help you protect Drew Brees, for you to willingly keep him out of that game, that was more than your average practice fight. So I don't know what went down. I just hope that they can get past it. But, yeah, that's crazy.
Here is Sean Payton talking about that Chargers pass rush.
Well, look, every week, and each team presents another challenge. Obviously, with guys like Bosa that are in that front, they do a good job with their technique. They're strong inside. Their edge players have given teams problems. And so, it's hard sometimes to measure the hurries and hits that don't necessarily end in a sack, but they might end in a turnover, a fumble. They might end in, a negative play offensively. So that's important in this game.
Kickoff tonight, 7:15 from the Dome. Saints 7.5-point favorites versus the Chargers. Atlanta Falcons coach Dan Quinn and GM Thomas Dimitroff We saw their team start 0-5 for the first time since 1997 after a loss on Sunday to Carolina, have been fired. Team president Rich McKay will assume day-to-day duties as an oversight of football operations in Atlanta. But yesterday, Carolina, Joe Brady and that offense for Carolina without Christian McCaffrey looked very dialed in. If you're following NFL media, there is a ton of smoke of Joe Brady being a head coach next season in the NFL. It is scary to think that the Atlanta job is vacant right now and that Brady is a prime prospect as a head coach. Speaking of the NFL
potentially
news,
scary. I don't know if I would hate that, though. I mean, that could be, it's an exciting hire. It could definitely go either way. That could, but like, just as much as that could go really right, that could still go really, really wrong.
Miss Joe Brady in Tiger Town.
Yeah. I mean, so how about this? Scott Linehan. What were Joe Brady's specialties?
Third down and red zone?
Exactly. And so where has the offense been at its worst this year?
Can we get the $2.6 million back and the $800,000 they dished out for assistance over the offseason?
At least offensively, like I said, it's not an unmitigated disaster. Actually, it's not a disaster at all. There's a ton of good. There are just key areas that need to improve. Like, remember, we did an entire third down segment last week only to watch them go 0 of 10 on Saturday.
Over. Dak Prescott suffered a compound fracture and dislocation of his right ankle that required surgery Sunday night. The injury occurred on a 9-yard run while being tackled by the Giants yesterday. Tough injury to watch on Prescott as through the first 4 games of the season, he was leading passer. He was the leading passer all time in NFL history through the first 4 games. Carolina beat Atlanta 23-16. As we said, Russell Gage had 2 catches. Debo had 8 tackles for Atlanta. Las Vegas beat Kansas City in Arrowhead yesterday, 40-32. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 10 carries for 40 yards. He also had 3 catches for 40 yards. Tyrann Mathieu had a tackle as well. The Cardinals beat the Jets 30-10. Patrick Peterson had 3 stops. The Steelers beat Philadelphia 38-29. Duke Riley had 13 tackles yesterday for the Eagles. Jalen Mills had 8. Rams beat Washington 30-10. How about the story of Alex Smith? Alex Smith got into the game yesterday against Aaron Donald and the Los Angeles Rams pass rush. Stood in there and threw 29 passes, completed 17 of them. But if you've seen the E60 story, what an incredible accomplishment for Alex Smith to be back on the field and playing NFL football. They lost yesterday. Michael Brockers had 6 tackles.
Well, also, if he wanted to test that that leg was healthy, he got sacked 8 times? I think it was. I mean, it was wild the amount of hits that Alex Smith was taking.
Speaking of sacks, yesterday, Joe Burrow was sacked 7 times in Baltimore. Joey's toughest day as a pro yesterday. 19 of 30, 183 yards. He was picked. And as we said, sacked 7 times. Patrick Queen, look out, man. He could be the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. He had 9 tackles yesterday, 2 fumble recoveries, a sack, and a scoop and score in which he outran Burrow and the Bengals for 6. 27-3 yesterday, Baltimore beat Cincinnati. Houston got their first win of the season, 30-14, as DJ Chark had 3 catches for 16 yards. Caleb Von Chasson had a stop and 1 pass defense. Miami rolled past San Francisco 43-17 as Davin Gottschall had 2 stops and a quarterback hit. Quan Alexander had 5 tackles and a sack for San Francisco as the 49ers benched Garoppolo yesterday. Cleveland Browns, look out, first 4-1 start since Bill Belichick has been the head coach in Cleveland. They beat Indianapolis yesterday 32-23. OBJ threw a pass for 18 yards. He also had 5 grabs for 58 yards. Jarvis Landry had 4 catches for 88 yards, while Jacob Phillips had a stop on the day. The Cowboys beat the Giants, as we said, 37-34. Seattle remains unbeaten with a last-second drive and win from Russell Wilson to DJ Metcalf, 27-26. They beat the Vikings. Justin Jefferson had 3 catches for 23 yards. Bills play the Titans on Tuesday night due to COVID. And in the NBA bubble last night, it's over. The Los Angeles Lakers have won the NBA Finals 106-93 as they down the Miami Heat. LeBron James logged a triple-double, 28 points, 14 boards, and 10 assists to win his 4th Finals MVP and his 4th ring. He now has won championships with 3 franchises. Anthony Davis had 19 points and 15 boards on Sunday night. This is the Los Angeles Lakers' 17th NBA championship, which ties the franchise with the Celtics, who most recently won their last one back in 2008 when they defeated Kobe Bryant and the LA Lakers. But this is the Lakers' first championship since Kobe got his fifth ring.
Shout out to Lakers. It's pretty incredible that it happens the year after the Kobe tragedy. And also, congrats to Anthony Davis. I used to really be a huge fan, and it's nice to see you win a championship.
I know that was hard for you. We will talk to Verge Ausberry coming up here in 15 minutes.
Tell the truth Monday, Jordy. We have to be unflinching when we stare into honesty's eyes.
Weekend winners, 8 o'clock this morning, Ross Dellinger, 8:30. Come back with us off the bench, driven and powered every single day by All-Star Toyota. Those headlines were given to you by BBQ Guys. Welcome aboard.
Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Daily brought to you here by AccuTemp. Remember, over in AccuTemp, you can get in touch with them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for fast and reliable HVAC maintenance and service right here in Baton Rouge. Their website's fantastic. Online at AccuTempBR.com. As when you log on there, get all the contact information. You can chat with the sales department. You can get a service department and create and get somebody out to the house today, get somebody out to the office. It's Baton Rouge's top-rated air conditioning, heating, and electrical company, AccuTemp. Find out more online at AccuTempBR.com.
AccuTempBR.com. Remember to text halftime to a number that I'm blanking on.
31996.
31996. Look at the Kingmaker. He's a vault. He's a steel trap when it comes to numbers. So text halftime 31996 at halftime of LSU games. And you'll get that Tiger tune-up. Get your entire house ready for the winter for $50, half off. How about that? And when you work with AccuTemp, they're the best. AccuTempBR.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. We're live from the Sazerac House in New Orleans, counting you down to Monday Night Football, Saints and Chargers. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Weekend winners coming up here on Off the Bench. The Lane train, Lane Kiffin definitely won. Kiffin owned the night on Saturday. Even though Ole Miss loses, he puts up 48 versus Alabama. There was a nice hug at midfield between Kiffin and Saban after the game, and it was an extended conversation. Kiffin told ESPN's Alex Scarborough when asked, "What'd you say to Saban after the game?" He said he whispered in his ear, "I thought they played defense in the SEC."
I mean,
the guy, bro.
Look, honestly,
Ole Miss
LSU
finished with 647 yards of total offense.
LSU should accept the Lane Kiffin Ole Miss mindset, which you can tell that Lane Kiffin operates from a decision-making basis in which he fully expects his defense to give up a touchdown.
Yeah.
And so when you operate out of that mindset, it's actually quite freeing in a lot of ways. Like, you can go for that onside kick and not really care, because what's the difference in an 80-yard touchdown drive and a 50-yard touchdown drive? You can go for it on fourth down and not really care because you know you have to score. LSU can do the same thing, because if I'm watching KJ Costello, who has scored 13 and 2, including getting benched in his other starts, if I'm watching him throw for an SEC record 623 and put up 40+, and then I'm watching a Missouri offense with Connor Bazelak making his second ever start, missing 3 of his top 5 receivers, including his top 2 guys, an offense that put up 13 against Tennessee, that had scored 3 touchdowns coming into the game. If I'm watching that offense go for 600 and 40+ points, well, then what's the point? I mean, we just operate under the assumption that the other team is going to score 7 every time, and let's just go balls to the wall with this thing.
Yeah, look, man, if you're being honest here on Tell the Truth Monday, and you brought up Mississippi State, Mississippi State and LSU seem like they're in the 2 worst positions after looking at SEC football this weekend. And I would only put Mississippi State at 14th because they're like infighting. They're fighting on the field. They got people taking themselves out of the game.
Well,
Leach is calling the roster out. It's not a lot. I mean, it doesn't feel a lot different, but LSU, when you watch that on Saturday, the defense is easy to blame because they are putrid. The game looks as if it's passed Bo Pelini by.
Yeah.
It doesn't look as if he has any answer for what's going on. You brought up Costello in Mississippi State. Could you fathom and think that they could look any worse than they did on opening day?
And what are the teams doing against them? They're rushing 3 and dropping 8. Exact thing that Chris Peterson did at Washington. The exact film that the LSU coaching staff decided to ignore.
But I'm saying from LSU's point of view, did you fathom that they could look any worse than they did 2 weeks ago?
No, and the Missouri game was actually worse.
And here you go 2 weeks later, and they look worse.
It looked worse.
They look like they have gotten more dysfunctional, more unorganized. The lack of communication and the ability to coach it from the sideline to the field here looks elementary. I mean, it looks as if, I mean, I watched elementary football yesterday.
Yeah.
And I saw, at least the ability for coaches to tell players on the field what they expect and a player to execute that. I mean, they don't tackle. They're not in the right spots. They don't give good effort. I don't know anything that I look at that I say that's fixable and they can improve.
So everything to me, I guess the only reason why I would maybe still hold out some sort of hope that some improvement can take place is that everything to me seems to start with the scheme. Quite simply. All the problems that you're alluding to, Jordy, I think all are born of mental confusion, right? When guys are thinking, they aren't playing. Mental confusion equals slow play, and right now, this is the most confused-looking defense I've ever seen in my life. And I think that Eli Drinkwood smelled blood in the water. He knows Pelini runs a more old-school system. He knows that it's a system that is predicated on everybody knowing exactly what to do, and a system that wants to mirror what the offense does in terms of pre-snap movement and all these things, right? Like, they want to be able to shift responsibilities constantly on the fly. That's all well and good if people know what their responsibilities are. When people don't, then it becomes disastrous. And that's where you win is. Even the simplest of motions were causing LSU to go into full-blown panic conversational mode as they're trying to figure out who has who. I cannot tell you the amount of unset players that LSU had when Missouri was snapping the ball all night long. Guys still pointing at each other, talking to each other. Guys still standing up, not yet in their stance because they just figured out where to line up. Guys still peeking in the backfield, trying to figure out exactly who they have or where their responsibilities lie. And then Missouri, I mean, look, you saw that Ole Miss tempo. Missouri just gave you a dash of tempo, just a little bit of speed. And that little bit of speed combined with that pre-snap movement, it looked like it caused like LSU looked like one of the, you're watching a movie with a robot and the robot just gets so confused that it like shakes and its head explodes. Like, that's what even the simplest of motions was doing to this LSU defense. And what that results in then is what you witnessed on Saturday. Nothing working. Nobody's ever in position. Nobody's playing downhill. The linebackers, and this is another damning thing if you're Bo Pelini. Okay, Dave Aranda left that linebacker group. Look at how good LSU linebackers were under Dave Aranda. They were incredible. Look at the run of NFL guys that they went on. And now look at the linebacker group for LSU being the worst group on the field Saturday. I mean, just having no idea what to do, nobody reading correctly, nobody attacking gaps, instead being confused, passive, and catching blocks 5 yards down the field. When Missouri would run the ball, you weren't contacting them till 5 or 7 yards down the field. It's not like they were making moves or breaking tackles in the backfield. You were so passive that you weren't making contact. They were already halfway to a first down. So, no, it is the worst. There is no question it is the worst defensive game film I've ever watched in my entire life. And it is borderline unthinkable because that's the thing, right? How can you lead the SEC in turnover margin by a wide gap? How can you be third in the nation in turnover margin? How can you be top 10 in terms of penalty discipline, not committing penalties? How can you be that and have 2 losses to 1 and 2 teams that look like utter garbage? That is bizarre. That is unthinkable. And the only way that you can make sense of that is that the defense has been bizarrely and unthinkably bad. And as I said, there are definitely personnel issues, right? So, like, anytime you're unthinkably bad, anytime you're record-settingly bad, a lot of stuff has to go wrong. But right now, the staff and the scheme is not mitigating the issues. They're exacerbating them. They're making them worse. It is a disaster that LSU has to get fixed immediately, or they are staring they're staring 3-7, 4-6 in the face. Getting to 5-5 at this point would be an accomplishment.
No, I think it gets worse before it gets better. I mean, to think about that and say that out loud is scary, but I mean, it will get, it seems like, worse before it gets better. Here's Ogeron after the game expressing the confidence on the Pelini hire.
Well, I love Bo. I think Bo's going to be a great defensive coordinator. He's done it before, but we have to get better. And there's some things that we need to fix. We need to coach better. There's some things that we need to look at schematically, see where we can get better. And I know we will.
And look, man, as far as that, like, let's put ourselves in a leadership position, right? You're not going to come out and be like, this guy's terrible to me. You cannot do that. Now, you could maybe call for some more accountability. He's been more accountable with coaches he's been displeased with in the past, and I would be okay with that. But ultimately, you're not going to say anything there that's going to change anything, really. It might make us feel a little bit better just to hear him get a bit more angry. But I will say this, right now, Bo Pelini is a ballast around Ed Ogeron's reputation's neck, and he is dragging them down with him. How's this for the headline from Ralph Russo's AP Top 25 Takeaways, a national article that's obviously written every week. The headline reads, Orgeron's star turn could be short-lived. They then opened talking about O's comments where he said the defense was better than at any point than it was last year. And then here's the closing paragraph. LSU had a once-in-a-lifetime season, and then the band basically broke up, leaving Orgeron behind to prove that if he could be more than anything but a one-hit wonder. His first big move was to bring in Pelini. His defense has now given up more points in the first 3 games in Indian LSU history. A year after beating Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney on the way to a national championship, Orgeron is conjuring up memories of a far less successful season at LSU. Heading into Florida next week to face the potent Gators offense, the Tigers are 1-2 for the first time since 1994, Curly Hallman's last season as a head coach. And so that is accompanied with LSU dropping out of the top 25. And so that's what I'm saying. So, look, you're not going to make a decision in season. I don't even think, even though it's been an unmitigated disaster, I still don't think you make a decision during the season. But at the end of the year, if you do not show, because he's cost you 2 games now, if he does not show drastic, and I mean drastic improvement, then you have to have a very serious Matt Canada conversation about the sunk cost fallacy. And is it time? Do we just have to bite the bullet here and drum up the funding, even though we're down millions and millions of dollars, and find a way to get out of this?
Verge Ausberry from LSU Athletics next.
Off the bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Daily brought to you here on OTB by Donaldsonville Glass and Body online, dgbauto.com. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, 415 Division Street. You can find them there. They've been there since 1977. Get in touch with Donaldsonville Glass and Body today about collision repair. If you need an oil change, if you want to shop tires, you can do all that online at dgbauto.com.
dgbauto.com, donaldsonvilleglassandbody.com. Go there today for all of your car needs. Glass, wheels, tires, brakes. Remember, if you do get in an accident, the police cannot tell you who you get to tow, and the insurance company cannot tell you where you need to go. The answer to both of those queries is Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Nick Frederick will come out there and pick you up in that beautiful 2019 brand new tow truck. And then the body work is second to none. The collision repair is second to none. Best in the state. I'll put that on everything. And your car is going to look brand new. So if you get in an accident, you already know where you want to go. Oh, and then they'll drop it back off to you. DonaldsonGlassandBody.com.
Football's back. Tune in tonight as we wrap up a full weekend of NFL coverage. It's Monday Night Football as Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints host the Los Angeles Chargers. The NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but 2 NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Do you know the proper way to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in your office? We do. We're Janney King. a leader in the cleaning industry for over 30 years, and we've developed comprehensive programs to address proper cleaning and disinfection. We have experience in applying disinfecting programs in hospitals, office buildings, schools, and other venues. Now we're ready to help and able to assist customers that need disinfecting services.
Hey, football fans, T-Bomb here, reminding you that Hooters is your headquarters for football. If you can't get in, they still got the Hooters girls, the TVs, the wings, the beer, everything you love about game day. But what if you're watching at your house? Maybe having some people over. You don't feel like cooking? Well, great. Hooters, they have your back. You download the Hooters app. You'll get a free app, and then you go and you pick up the food. You bring it home. Everybody loves you because you got Hooters wings, and game day, it's a match made.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. We're live from the Sazerac House in New Orleans, counting you down to Monday Night Football, Saints and Chargers. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, a lot of people reacting inside of YouTube. Remember, you can get there at 104.5 ESPN. We're up around 430 people right now, so appreciate your interaction and following us there. Remember to like and subscribe to the YouTube station here. You can get involved through the Bayou Ford chat app. Every Monday, we catch up with Executive Deputy Director of Athletics over at LSU. He's a former player. He was in Missouri on Saturday, and we catch up with Verge Ausberry here on Off the Bench, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. Remember, that weekly conversation is brought to you by Capital Partners here on Off the Bench. Good morning, Verge. How are you?
Good, Jordan, T-Bob. Rough weekend, but sunrise on Monday.
Absolutely. From an executive standpoint,
That's what we have to hang our hat on. I agree. The sun came up. That's good.
What's the evaluation like from the executive standpoint after a weekend like this?
Like I say, Jordan, you don't make emotional decisions, but you look at everything and look, take the coach word, and as a defensive player, first of all, who wore that helmet, what Coach O said, it was embarrassing. On defense, we have to play better. We're not pointing fingers at anybody. Coaches, players, it's everybody in that room together. What I saw as a player, as a former player, and a person who's been with this program, I saw missed tackles. I saw guys up front not getting off of blocks. I saw us not being physical up front, taking on blocks, getting rid of blocks, and making a play. I saw us not covering people. I saw us playing with no emotion. I saw people not hustling. Missed assignments. In every play you have a missed assignment. Yeah. That's the issue. I saw players, arguing with each other on the field, not lined up. Things you said already. We know it. Watch it on the film. It is what it is. Yeah. And you got to get that worked out. I think what you do, fuss and holler and curse this week. What you do, you look every player in the eye. You watch the film this morning, today, with the whole defense. We need to watch it together. And just start holding everybody accountable. Why is this happening? Why is this guy running downfield wide open? You're just getting beat, and just, team is better than you and more physical than you, and you can't stop, a one-on-one pass play. That's a different thing. But, when you get in assignments where guys are 30 yards down the field wide open, then you look at yourself. And everybody, players and coaches on the defensive side of the ball, they need to be in a room themselves and look at themselves like, why is this happening?
Yeah, it's nut check time for that entire group. Like you said, just top to bottom. I mean, every single person. And when it's this bad, everybody has a hand in making that bad gumbo. How do you get it fixed? You watch the film as well, and it just seems so kind of broken to its core at this point. How do you make enough changes to show improvement when you're here in the middle of the season and things are kind of hurtling along?
This is what you do. You got to find out who wants to play. Another thing I saw, Ryan Clark texted something this weekend. I saw it. Guys are making, it's first and 10, and the guy gains 8 yards. The guy make a big hit, and he jumps up. In the game of football, It's won by a down distance and where you're at on the field. And, Coach Ausberry taught us that. The great ones teach you that. And so what offensive coordinators try to do is win first down. And winning first down is gaining 5 to 6 yards on first down.
Yep.
Anytime you gain that many yards on the first down, it's 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5, the offense is winning the battle. And, we have to do that on offense too. Win first down. If you win first downs, it makes it easier for you to win the third down. We're not a good football team on offense on 3rd and 10. We're 10 times third down and long. We didn't make the first down. And so you have to win the first down. Defense, offense, you're a football player, winning that first down is important. So what you have to do is get in the room and look at every player in the eye. And look, I don't care if you're a senior, I don't care if you're a freshman, sophomore, I don't care if you started 3 years here or what. And look, do you want to be here? Do you want to play? Do you give in 100% effort? And if you don't, then find the next guy to put in the game. And sometimes guys who's supposed to be leaders and captains on the defense, you know what? Maybe to sit on the bench for a little while and watch.
Can you speak to the greatness of Terrace Marshall?
A great game. Great. I mean, he's your leading receiver. We have good receivers. And we can't say anything more about him. He gives it his all. He's going to be a great player for us. He was a great player for us last year. And 5-star kid right here from Shreveport, Louisiana. And, what he's doing on the field is expected of him.
He's got 20 touchdowns in the last 15 games to give you an idea of the tear that Marshall is on. He had 11 catches for 235 and 3 scores. Verge, what's the communication like from the executive department to the LSU football coaches? How do you guys interact? I know that you guys are always around. What's the interaction like on a Monday like today where obviously everybody just wants to keep their head down and go to work?
Look, we're very positive. We support the program. That's our job, to support the program. We're not going to tell a coach what to do, how to do it, and what they need to do. We get in there. We saw them Saturday, talked to a lot of them Saturday night after the game, talked to a lot of them yesterday. The coaching staff, hey, keep these young guys in it, keep working hard. We support you. It's not time right now to point fingers and say what to do. And you're right, you can't just sit them in the middle of the field and say, okay, we're going to change everything right now. That's not going to work, okay? So the thing you do, we get in there with the coaching staff, getting there with the players, making sure they're healthy, okay, and just talk and be very positive. Like, this is not the time to start pointing the fingers and blaming and the blame games. I get texts and emails from everybody. Bo Pelini is a good defense coordinator. But Bo Pelini is not responsible. When I see 4 guys in the backfield miss a tackle, that's not Bo Pelini, okay? When I see guys that's not lined up, that's not Bo Pelini snapping the ball, looking at it the wrong way. So a lot of things, like I said, you can point fingers at everybody on the defense side of the ball. It's not no one person say, okay, this is the reason, we're not playing good football.
I'm talking to Verge Ausberry here on Off the Bench. Verge, what about so let's look at the offense. What impressed you the most offensively on Saturday, and then where do you think that this offense still needs to improve the most?
You look at the offense overall. As a player, when you're scoring that many points a game, you're supposed to win the game. The old saying is you score 28 points a game, you should win the football game. Yeah. Defense has to come in and stop, okay? So offense is scoring. Now, the thing I talked about is we have to start with the quarterback, he's not Joe Burrow. And typically stop comparing him to Joe Burrow. So the thing you have to do with him is help him win the first down. First downs, give him the short second down, where he can manage it. Like I said, we're not good in the 3rd and long, the 3rd and 9, the 3rd and 10. We don't do well there, and that's not his deal. He's not Joe Burrow, make things happen, look everybody off, and make the play. He's not that guy, but he's good enough, though, where you put him in those situations where it's 2nd and 5, 3rd and 3, he can win those situations. And look, he did. They gained 40-some yards a game, 41 points a game. Yeah. I mean, you can't blame the offense much here. I can't say we could do better this year. Out of the goal line situation was a situation where, we could have won the game. But, look, we scored enough points in that game to win the game. In fact, at the end, coaching-wise, when you're looking at it, we played the last part of that game when they were on the half line. You played it right. But bottom line, we couldn't give Missouri the ball back, but bottom line, we couldn't stop them.
Yeah, like I said, we got to be like Ole Miss.
You said that earlier. I heard you say that. You got to take chances sometimes. Sometimes, you know what? Don't give the offensive ball back. So, you know what? Run the ball, score 3rd down, give them 15 seconds on the clock, and you win the game.
We said that as we were watching it live here, Verge. I was like, you know what? I don't hate getting tackled there because, the clock's running, and at least now if you score, they want to have a chance to score as well. One guy who is also fantastic, Verge, if we do want to talk about the positives, the freshman tight end, Arik Gilbert. I know that the injury seemed to kind of not halt his day, but kind of throw a wrench into it. But, I mean, the potential on this cat feels wild. I don't know if you're going to see any better two tight ends in the nation next week than you'll have with Pitts and Gilbert. What were your thoughts on the 18-year-old after game number 3?
You know, if you watch that first catch he made where the ball was behind him, he put his arm back and caught it. That's just a big-time play. That's stuff you can't teach right there. That's stuff they do in the NFL on Sundays. And, look, he's that type of player. He's worked on his blocking. Like he told us the other day, he never had to block in high school. And he's working, getting better there, doing a great job there. And as a freshman player, you can't expect anything more out of him. Just a very good football player. He'll be a great football player for us in the future.
Verge, can you talk to us about John Emery's development? What do you expect from him?
John Emery is doing well. I mean, all our backs are doing well. John played well. John's a great talent. We brought him and recruited him. He's the number 3 back in the country and a good football player. And we expected those things out of him. And John, great vision. Great vision as a running back. Keeps his feet very well after the first hit. And he runs, he's not a big pounding back, but, he keeps his balance. First tackler, don't bring him down.
Do you think you play in front of 90,000 this weekend? What do you anticipate from a crowd standpoint?
I don't know that. We hadn't talked to Florida yet, and that's Florida's decision with their state officials and their administration, what they're going to do. We don't know what they're going to be with attendance-wise there. You go into Gainesville, you go into the swamp. That's why I say there's no time for crying and licking your wounds right now. Time you got to get ready to play, and we got to look in these guys' eyes and see who's ready to go to Gainesville. It's going to be a tough football game. They're coming off a tough loss at Texas A&M, and you're right. They have some very good football players. I thought they would probably be one of the better teams in the SEC this year, and they hadn't played like it. With Trask who being a 5-year quarterback, I thought he'd be more like a Joe Burrow type quarterback. But you're right, that tight end is a very good player. They got a great receiver, and they can run the ball.
Verge, have a good week, and we always thank you for this time. We'll talk to you next Monday.
Appreciate you, Jordan T-Bob. Have a good weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Remember that that conversation each week is brought to you by Capital Partners. Capital Partners firm online. If you need government representation, whether you're an individual or business, get in touch with Jesse McCormick and Daryl Cahoon at capitalpartnersfirm.com.
For the people.
We will be back to close out hour 1. I promise. Keep going.
This happened the other day where the computer was kind of freezing up. As far as what Verge said there, yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of it. The Emery stuff is interesting to me because I'm with you. Like, I don't know why he wasn't in the game plan earlier. I thought they were going to use him more.
Well, my concern is that he's their best player at that position, it feels like. I mean, for him to be on the field for the first time of the day on the 3rd series of the game, I can listen to your touch distribution on look, they couldn't block it, they couldn't run it. But the fact of the matter is, in my eyes, he's one of your best players, and he's got to touch the ball.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, let him be the one that proves that you can't run it. Like, I see what you're saying there. So I can't disagree there. I would just say I don't know that any running back was going to have a ton of success on this day. The offensive line wasn't bad. They really, well, not pass blocking wise. They weren't bad pass blocking wise. There were gaffes like there's always going to be, but on the whole they were pretty solid. But run blocking, they could not move Mizzou, and that's a pretty big red flag. Even though that was a Mizzou team that was down 2 defensive line starters due to COVID. But the main correlating factor though is the absence of Ed Ingram. The drop off from Ed Ingram to Turner, and this is not even as much a criticism against Turner because it just is what it is. I mean, Ed Ingram is a top-tier NFL prospect at that position. Charles Turner is a cat making his first start that had to just gain like 40 pounds in a year. So, like, of course there's going to be drop-off there. It was still, though, even more extreme than I had anticipated. And when you're talking about running the ball, guard is the main position that can influence, in terms of offensive line, your success on the ground. And not having Ed Ingram really hurt you this last game.
Yeah, and one thing that Verge talked about that he was talking about, a tweet that was coming out during the game. I hope on Tell the Truth Monday, which I anticipate happening in film review, is that LSU they get some humility about him. I mean, to see Damone Clark stand over a runner.
That was a bad look. It was in the 4th quarter. That's when it was like 38-31 or 34 or 41-38. Yeah, like the one play that Clark made where he met the guy at the line. He pulled that little dance in the backfield.
Like,
the bad luck.
Fellas.
I think RC tweeted, like, hold up. Like, there needs to be a rule in place for this LSU defense right now. You cannot celebrate until y'all do something for an entire game.
I mean, believe it or not, that's where I thought that they, had lost total control of the team. Like, there's no regulation within. I mean, there's no enforcer within that can stand over that stuff and say, fellas, that's not the look we want. That ain't the look that LSU's defense wants to portray when you're down. I mean, you're giving up record amounts.
Basilac's killing you. Like, what are we doing? I mean, what are we talking about here?
No,
this cat who's never played before.
KJ Costello was benched.
Is out there murdering you. Yeah, they scored 2 points. And that's the terrifying part. And that's why a bit later we can dive into schedule game by game and see if we can kind of math out where we think you're going to end up. Because the 2 teams you lost to are also 1 and 2.
All right, we'll be back. Close out hour 1.
Off the bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Brought to you by the Lanois, Lanoix Agency.com. Remember, get in touch with Lanois Insurance Agency, 749-5640. Auto insurance, home insurance, business insurance, flood insurance, Lanoix Agency.com. Get in touch with them at 749-5640 or online at lanoixagency.com.
LanoixAgency.com, LanoixAgency.com. Bundle your home, your auto. You can get flood insurance from there as well. If you are a small business owner and you need protection, let the boys and girls at Lanoix handle your business, lanoixagency.com. They customize policies for your specific needs. And then they're always actively working to save you money without you lifting a finger, right? I just got a call earlier this year. Hey, we're changing this. Bottom line, it's going to result in like a few $100 savings. Okay, I'm in. If you don't have that, get that with Lanoix. There's a relationship there. You're not just a number cog in the machine or number in the computer. They care about you. Go to lanoixagency.com, lanoixagency.com.
Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday Night Football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
During times of trouble, hope keeps us calm, and courage keeps us strong. Here in Louisiana, we know this better than most. After all, we've faced hardship, but hurricanes and floods never washed away what makes us strong. It's our culture, the spirit of resilience that says rise and rise up again. We'll make it through the tough times, we always do. And Blue Cross will always be here to support you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all.
If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new...
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. We're live from the Sazerac House in New Orleans, counting you down to Monday Night Football, Saints and Chargers. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, little technical difficulties here, closing out hour one. So this will be a quick segment and wrapping it up. We're going to come back. We got weekend winners for you. 8:30, we'll talk
I haven't even thought about weekend winners. I've been so deep in this frustrating game film. Golly, okay.
Hour two next.
Off the Bench with Collada and T-Bob.
Secure Shredding and Recycling. Remember, online, secureshreddingandrecycling.com. Get in touch with our crew over there. That's Gaines Garrett, Mr. J. Babb, their whole crew. If you are looking for mobile shredding, they can come to your office today. They got 10 trucks on the road every single day over at Secure Shredding and Recycling. You can find them online, your document destruction specialist, hardware, as well as documents they can destroy for you today. Online, secureshreddingandrecycling.com.
Secureshreddingandrecycling.com, secureshreddingandrecycling.com for all your document destruction needs. Go with the local guys, the LSU grads, because they are there to serve you in your business and what your business needs. It's not like a national company where you're just going to be put into the database and you are what you are. No, there's a relationship there. They actively work with your best interest at heart. And look, they make it convenient. They can destroy on-site with their own trucks. They have drop-off points they can bring back to their facilities. They can do it all. Go to secureshreddingandrecycling.com, secureshreddingandrecycling.com.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
When morning came to Louisiana, we were hopeful, not hibernating. We were mending fences, feeding neighbors, and holding our kids. When morning came to Louisiana, we were wide awake, planting seeds for next year's crops. We were stronger, ready for what's next. And together, as we build anew, Blue Cross stands ready to support you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Monday, October 12th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see sunny skies with a high of 89. In case you missed hour one of the show, catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com, brought to you by Carriages. Coming up in hour two, we give you our weekend winners next, and Sports Illustrated's Ross Dellinger talking college football at 8:30. Follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch the show live over at the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. Interact inside the Bayou Ford chat. And make sure you're subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Set your notifications. New content is posted there daily. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
My man Romo can call a play. He can't call an injury, though. Often added off the bench, hour 2 off the bench.
Maybe he thought it was a cramp.
1045 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio in New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria. That's T-Bob Hebert, Matthew Musso, Danny Cardenas, our producers. Every day, I'm Jordy Collada here with you for another hour. T-Bob's here with you, hour 3, OTB, OT.
Yep.
So stick around. Verge Ausberry was here in hour 1, executive Deputy Director of Athletics, former player with the Tigers, always offering great insight. Weekly conversation brought to you by Capital Partners. You need government or government representation, whether you're an individual or a business, get in touch with Jesse McCormick, onlinecapitalpartnersfirm.com. Coming up, hour 2, we'll talk more college football. Ross Dellinger from Sports Illustrated will stop by. He's here every Monday, 8:30. Looking forward to the conversation with Dellinger. It was an exciting college football weekend. There's a lot to get to, but a lot of the conversation is centering around Baton Rouge and just what the hell's going on with this LSU football program. As defensively they continue to be just historically bad.
Unmitigated disaster is the word that I keep going back to, because that mitigation would take place in the coaching department, and it's just none of it right now.
Anytime you can compare anything with football to the Curly Hallman days around Baton Rouge, you know you are in a bad spot.
How about
and they're worse.
How about
worse than the 94 start with Curly Hallman?
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? How about giving them the most points in program history despite a game where you had a 7 spot? Despite a game where you only gave up 7. It shows you how, again, unthinkably bad you've been against 2 1-2 teams in Mizzou and Mississippi State. If nothing else, at least LSU, I mean, out of the benevolence of our hearts, we're kind of like the Santa Claus of the SEC. Mike Leach, you need to get the fan base on your side? Here you go, bro. Take this dub. Drinkwitz, you freaking nerd. You need to get the fans to believe and go take this dub. To be fair, Drinkwitz coached circles around the defense.
He ran circles around Pelini. I mean, he smelled blood in the water.
Yeah. He obviously knew that LSU players have these strictly defined responsibilities and that they didn't really always know what to do. And so he used, and this is also how his offense is built, which again, what the hell are they doing from a game planning standpoint of your LSU? Again, I don't know. But yeah, he knew that his motions were going to be super effective in terms of throwing off the LSU responsibilities.
I got weekend winners. Here's the latest.
Yeah, how bad is Vanderbilt's offense?
That's how winning is done. That's right. We can't have anyone freak out there, okay?
They can
gotta keep our composure. We've got too far.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
Are you doing what it takes to win a championship?
Wow, winning.
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do. What's that? Win the whole thing.
I will say this in defense of Pelini, my takes on Saturday were Pelini level, right? I called LSU the mortal lock of the century. I thought that A&M would not be close by the end of that game. I said that Tennessee wouldn't be able to hang with Georgia, which maybe that kind of ended up being true, but even then Tennessee still did a bit better than I expected. So, like,
you played for a half.
If I'm judging myself by the same standard I'm judging LSU's defense by, I also had a Bo Pelini-like weekend. It's just that it matters a lot less for me.
That's fair. I will say that I was flying the Lane Kiffin flag all week last week.
That's another thing. I expected Alabama to run off the field on Ole Miss. That did not happen.
And my first weekend winner is Oxford, Mississippi, and Lane Kiffin, the Lane train, Ole Miss. I know you lost Ole Miss versus Alabama, but the entertainment level and the coach you got in Oxford is an absolute grand slam. Kiffin and Ole Miss scored 48 against Alabama. The final was 61-48. The 48 points scored by Ole Miss ties the most ever given up by Alabama under Saban since he arrived in Tuscaloosa. It was the most points an unranked team has scored against Alabama in the regular season since 1936. Ole Miss finished with 647 yards of offense. He went for it on fourth downs. He tried multiple onside kicks, including one early in the second half. And as we told you, when Saban and Kiffin met at midfield after the game, Kiffin whispered into Saban's ear, "I thought they played defense in the SEC." Welcome back to the league, Lane.
I mean, how sweet, even
down
to the DK Metcalf mask that he had on, right? Just giving like a shout out to a beloved member of the program. Also,
Mintz
guys
came over to the house and watched the
Sunday.
game one Saturday night.
Yeah, I know. It seemed like that was probably a good time. It was at Lane. That was like watching. I mean, I guess I've never seen Karate Kid, right? But that was very much the pupil outclassing the master. Like, Lane can't help it that he has a terrible defense. He dominated Nick Saban's defense.
Remember the days when we thought Arch Manning was going to LSU?
Okay, right. I mean, so that is look.
No.
The recruiting conversation is
last
something.
year with Burrow.
The recruiting conversation is something to talk about. I don't think LSU's at a point yet where they're going to be affected. But if this thing gets bad enough, it gets catastrophically bad enough, it's going to be real easy to kind of dirty recruit LSU.
Yeah. Hey, Arch, meet Scott Linehan. Hey, Arch, meet Lane Kiffin. Where are you going?
My first weekend winner. You mentioned him during headlines, Jordy, but can you say more? And shout out to the YouTube chat who gave me this. Could you say more about what Patrick Queen did yesterday?
NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year.
He has been spectacular in that Ravens defense. You could not be happier with a first-round draft pick if you are the Baltimore Ravens. And I love that yesterday, although I was sitting here and I actually took Cincy with the points in the Degeneration Dome Saturday. I tried to get a little cute. I tried to go 3 dogs, and I ended up going 1 and 2. So I kind of, you get your just desserts in this case. But Patrick Queen, 9 tackles, 2 fumble recoveries, a sack, a TD. How about the fact that he did a lot of it against Joe Burrow himself? I mean, look at this play right here. So it's like where he forces fumble and recovered. So, yeah, Patrick Queen, spectacular in a vacuum. And then even more of a weekend winner since he did it against his former teammate and very good quarterback, Joe Burrow.
Alex Smith, weekend winner for me.
Good call.
Did what many, including myself, thought was impossible. He played football again in the National Football League. After seeing the injury, I said he's never going to play football again. Then seeing what he had to go through with the rehab, with the infections and the skin grafts, I thought for sure he's never going to play football again. And I'll say this. That is one of the moments where you really wish the stadium could have been full, because the standing ovation that he would have gotten coming out on the field, I mean, just the moment with his wife and kids giving him the standing ovation in the stand yesterday was great. Alex Smith, shout out, man.
Yeah,
Danny?
but then the problem is he's still on the Washington football team.
Hey, He's playing football.
The fact that he got out there, now you can hang it up. Get the hell out of there.
Yeah, really. Now,
Get the hell out of there.
I don't know. If I'm him, I'm like, dude, if I can handle getting sacked 18 times,
Aaron
I
Donald.
might as well just keep going. It can't get
Doesn't
worse.
get worse than Aaron Donald. Danny,
my
what you got?
weekend winner goes out to the UL Raging Cajuns.
Hey, shout out to Nate.
They're the only hope, from a national ranking standpoint in Louisiana.
He'll be here Thursday morning. They requested a change in time from Tuesday to Thursday, so we'll get him fresh after a hopeful victory.
How about
on Wednesday night?
Did y'all see the shade that the official Cajun Twitter put out yesterday? Just very much driving home the fact that they call themselves the best in the boot, the only ranked football team in the state of Louisiana.
No parish, no town is loving more of LSU's disastrous start than Lafayette, Louisiana. They love the fact that they can point and laugh at Baton Rouge.
For what it's worth, I want peace amongst all Louisiana football, so I am riding with the Cajuns. UL, let's do it.
My second weekend winner of the weekend is Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka.
God, I hate that that's true, but sure, yeah.
Formerly Kobe Bryant's agent and also Gigi's godfather.
Oh, wow.
Was listening to a lot of advice from Kobe along the way in building the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, that's very sweet now.
He is very tight with Kobe, and last night, as we said, the Los Angeles Lakers capped off the NBA season by winning the 17th title in that franchise's history. LeBron James was named the fourth-time Finals MVP as he got his fourth ring with his third separate franchise, joining Miami and Cleveland.
LeBron's way works. Right, for all the hate of GM LeBron has now won multiple championships.
So Rob Pelinka, LA Lakers, a weekend winner. I got Sam Pittman on this list as well because I
Yes,
thought
sir.
Sam Pittman and Arkansas
They should be
were
2-1.
screwed at Jordan-Hare on Saturday. I don't know if you saw this, but Bo Nix late in the game to try and set up a game-winning field goal, fumbles a snap. When he picks up the fumbled snap, he throws it behind him in an effort to spike the football. That's a backwards pass, which is a fumble. Sam Pittman knows it on the spot. The officials had blown the play dead. They go to review. Somehow they go to review, come out of a review.
Well, no, it's because they can't, because they've blown it dead, so they can't call it a fumble at that point because it was a dead ball. It's one of those dead ball things.
That is a brutal way
Yeah.
to lose a football game on the road in your third game as a head coach in the SEC for Sam Pittman. But don't look now, because all these games that you thought you could just go down the schedule for LSU and write the W's next to.
I know.
Arkansas doesn't exist anymore. Ole Miss doesn't exist anymore.
Dude, Felipe
Hell,
Franks
South
threw
Carolina
4
doesn't
touchdowns.
exist anymore.
There's no guaranteed
There's
win
no
left on that
guaranteed
schedule.
wins on the LSU schedule.
Felipe Franks
Yes.
threw for 300 and 4 TDs.
He looked good.
Picks. The fumble snap thing is really interesting because you saw a few interactions that you never really see, right? Normally you can spike the ball and it's not intentional grounding, right? It's like how a holder can have his knee on the ground as he's holding and he's not down, right? So the fumble, though, changes everything. When you fumble that snap, all of a sudden normal rules apply. So what you had is the refs are going into that play just thinking it's going to be a routine spike, right? And so you're probably just kind of in cruise control mode. It all happens so fast. They see a spike, they immediately blow it dead. Well, unfortunately, you then cannot review that. And although it is a fumble and Arkansas should have won the game, there's just nothing that can be done besides calling the intentional grounding. So a brutal break from Arkansas. Also a mind-blowing mistake from Bo Nix in the Auburn offense. You want to talk about finding ways to lose the game. That was literally like the one play that you had outside of just missing the field goal. So good job, Sam Pittman. I'm with you. Weekend winner. My next weekend winner is Anthony Davis. Congratulations.
Any more back there?
Yeah, John Gruden, Derek Carr, their litany of deep threats. Hey,
Vegas.
They have beaten the Saints and the Chiefs now. 3-2, looking good to go 8-8 and sneak into that last wild card spot.
Danny, who you got?
My weekend winner goes out to the Giants and Jets. First time ever they started 0-10.
Nice.
And
Nice. New York's got to be a
York
brutal
City
sports
football.
radio market
Seriously,
right now.
What happens if they both go 0-16?
Yeah, first and second pick in the draft.
But how do you decide who gets the first? If they're
I've seen-
both 0-16.
Do they play each other?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'd have to look at their schedules. Do you flip a coin? Do you draw out of a hat?
I'm sure that's never happened. There's never been two 0-16
I don't think so,
teams,
but
right?
I mean,
They're on
Dude.
pace. I mean, you go down the schedule and
Find
find
a win.
LSU. Go find an LSU guaranteed win. You may have a harder time doing that for the Jets and Giants.
Find me a win.
Let's see if they
I got another
play.
weekend winner. How about Hillary Chinook, over at the Advocate.
Yeah,
She
I
took
love
the
her.
picture of
She's
Bo
taking
Pelini
Great picture.
coming off the
So
sideline
good.
there, which is going to be a meme forever. But the picture, what's the saying? If a picture could say 1,000 words,
Yeah.
if that picture could say $2.6 million worth of words. And that brought me down a rabbit hole on Sunday, just wanted to know what Pelini's contract and his status really was. So I also got weekend winner as Pelini's agent, but here is the buyout.
Wait, hold on. So before you get into that, because this runs right with a comment in the YouTube chat from Cameron Maggi says, I think Bo Pelini's a weekend winner. He made huge strides in locking up the opportunity to get paid to sit at home. That's the dream. You're not wrong, Cameron Jordy. How much would he get paid?
So Pelini's contract, which began in LSU on January 23rd, it expires on March 31st of 2023, includes a base salary of $500,000, supplemental compensation of $1.8 to bring the yearly income to $2.3 million before bonuses for Bo Pelini.
We don't have to
every
You're not
single
worried about
year.
that.
Pelini's buyout equals the total amount of base salary and compensation left in his contract. If he's fired without cause in his first years, LSU would owe him $6.9 million. If he's fired without cause in his second year, $4.6 million. And a buyout would be close to about $2.3 million in his final year.
Without
So
cause.
if you make
I
a
wanna
move
vomit. I just
with
wanna
Pelini
vomit.
after this season or in the next 10 weeks, you owe him $6.9 million. Scott Woodward told the Advocate back on January 23rd, it is on the high end of the market, but we back Ogeron 1,000%.
That's a rough look. Hey, good for Coach. So I mean,
yeah,
that is the dream. You just finished getting paid for the last job you got fired from, and now if you get fired from this, you get to go straight back to chilling, and you'll get $6.9 million.
Ross
Unbelievable.
Dellinger, we're talking to him in 15 minutes.
Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Brought to you daily by Coy's Diesel. Remember, online at coysdiesel.com. Log on there now, and you can chat with Kristen, who will pop up over in the chat box, and she wants to schedule a sales appointment, a service appointment for you, or if you need to jump on and get the 24-hour roadside service because you're broken down on the side of the road in your light, medium, or heavy-duty diesel truck, Coy's Diesel can get you fixed up today. Remember, online, coysdiesel.com, and they also offer that 24-hour, 7 days a week roadside service if they can get to you, coysdiesel.com.
CoysDiesel.com, CoysDiesel.com. Coy is spelled C-O-Y for all of your diesel vehicle needs. They are your one-stop shop, right? Like literally, why would you go anywhere else when they got diesel in the name? 24/7 emergency roadside assistance. If you break down, you need help no matter when and where you are, they got you. But if you're just looking to upgrade your vehicle, right? You want to shop by part. I mentioned the nitrous kits that you can get. If you need any financing, anything, everything, they do it all for diesel vehicles. Go to CoysDiesel.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Hi, this is Chan. Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. We're live from the Sazerac House in New Orleans, counting you down to Monday Night Football, Saints and Chargers. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Back in here on Off the Bench, driven and powered every day by All-Star Toyota. Remember, online, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Shop the inventory there, whether you're looking for new car, used car, pre-owned and certified. Stop in and see the service department, headed up by our guy, Tommy Wagasbeck. Online, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. If you were listening to Friday's show, we had a great conversation closing out hour 1 with Whitney Bro, our friend here who has formed the Day 18 campaign, encouraging women to perform self-breast exams on the 18th day of each month, which is coming up this Saturday. She urged all the listeners to set a reminder on the 18th day of each month to do the self-breast exams. As Whitney is going through her own battle of breast cancer right now. You can follow them online at Day 18 Campaign to find out what's going on. But I think 2 major hospitals here in town have partnered up with Day 18, so the word is starting to flow from Whitney Bro. In fact, we just got a text message, speaking of cancer fighters in our own family. Miss Nell Lanois has just finished up her cancer battle, her cancer treatment. And is ringing the bell. In fact, Danny,
hey,
I'm going to send you a picture here from Mr. Randy Lanois, who just texted into the crew a great shot of Miss Nell leaving the hospital, ringing the bell on her final cancer treatment. She's pretty much the mom here of Off the Bench, and she has been a soldier through this fight of cancer, and it's good to see that wrapping up this morning for Nell, the Lanois, and the crew. So shout out to Miss Nell and Mr. Randy. We're going to talk college football here in a couple of minutes with Ross Dellinger as Dellinger will be by to stop by and talk about what happened this weekend. Texas A&M with a big win. We hadn't mentioned that. Georgia, Tennessee, as you mentioned a little bit. Alabama and Ole Miss was the game that everybody was talking about. The Red River rivalry was a fantastic football game.
Another thing I got wrong Saturday. I thought Texas would win that.
5 OTs. Spencer Rattler in Oklahoma. Go by Tom Herman. Herman and Texas.
Seems like so nice if both Herman and Fisher could have lost on the same day to just help you feel a little bit better about it. But Fisher instead gets kind of the exact win that he needed to get a little juice.
Yeah, without question, his best win as Texas A&M's head coach versus Florida on Saturday. Went for it on 4th down late in that game, converted, was able to get a game-winning field goal late in the contest. That gave the Aggies the win, as now LSU will travel to Gainesville on what it seems like will be a full stadium, or the possibility of a full stadium, as the governor of Florida has come out and said that they're open for business and would allow full capacity.
And then Mullen called for it after the game.
Yeah. I mean, if you saw Kyle Field.
How many were at Kyle Field? Because they were saying 25K, but everybody seems to think that there were more or something.
It looked
in there.
like more. The pictures looked like they had a lot more people there. I don't know a number.
But yeah, it appears that Mullen and company got kind of caught with their pants down, because I don't think that they practiced a lot of silent count. I do feel confident that LSU at least will not be caught by surprise. Like, they're going to practice silent count all week. Like, I have no doubt about that they will at least be. Now, I'm not saying they're going to execute it 100%, but like, they are going to practice to be ready for noise. If they don't, then that's just the height of absurdity.
All right, Monday Night Football tonight inside of the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, as New Orleans will be hosting the Los Angeles Chargers. Sean Payton was speaking over the weekend on a conference call. He was talking about the pass rush that will be in town tonight, including Joey Bosa.
Well, look, every week, and each team presents another challenge. Obviously, with guys like Bosa that are in that front, they do a good job with their technique. They're strong inside. Their edge players have given teams problems, and so it's hard sometimes to measure the hurries and hits that don't necessarily end in a sack, but they might end in a turnover, a fumble. They might end in a negative play offensively. So. That's important in this game.
More from Peyton yesterday, talking about the defensive line for New Orleans, including Trey Hendrickson and his development.
I think he's at the perfect weight and strength. And look, he is a tremendous worker. He got down. His weight fluctuated in his second year, but I think he's at his perfect weight. I think he's a smart player. And I think one of his great traits is his energy and effort, and that takes a lot to rush the passer. Obviously, to play defensive line, we feel a good rotation, but I think there's a toughness about him also, and so those combinations.
Danny, what's going on with Marcus Davenport? Do we have any idea? Is it still that toe injury? Like, is he going to play tonight? I've been so balls deep in lamenting this terrible LSU performance. Yeah, that was
sheesh.
That came out of nowhere. My bad. That was a little aggressive. That was a little. I apologize. I've been deep in the film. Is the point? Okay, I've kind of lost sight.
You don't say, huh?
As deep as I can get, at least. Danny, what do you think?
4 inches into the film of LSU,
Hey, let's be clear, okay? Let's be clear. Not the case. Danny, what were you saying?
I haven't seen any update on whether Marcus Davenport will come back, but
hey, I'll take a swing at this one. I bet he doesn't.
I mean, who needs a Trey Hendrickson?
Yeah, I agree.
All pro season.
No, Trey Hendrickson's playing great. I'm not taking away from Trey Hendrickson, but like, I don't even care. Don't make Davenport the starter. Let Hendrickson be the starter, but he still has a role to play on this team. You're just like, my God, man, just be available, please. Just 1 week, be available.
Cam Jordan's off to a slow start. Here he is talking about rookie quarterback Justin Herbert, who will face tonight.
The fact that his name isn't Justin Hebert, that'll get you if you've been in New Orleans for a decade. I mean, he's got a strong arm. He's able to run. I mean, he's able to extend plays with his legs. He's a product of U of O, right? So he's probably the slowest quarterback to come out of Oregon since Jeremiah Masoli. And that probably says a lot because there's probably been 5 or 6 quarterbacks since then. But he's got the arm talent, he's got the ability. Plus they've got wide receivers like Mike Williams and led by Keenan Allen and a strong tight end, Hunter Henry. So he has viable options on offense.
No, I mean, isn't Mariota between?
Yeah, right.
Look, wait, how did Cam start that again? What did he say at the beginning? Okay, the Hebert thing. This is a pet peeve of mine. Okay. And I love Mincy, but Mincy's done the same thing a few times. I just, somebody makes a joke, you don't necessarily call him out. So, Ben, if you're listening, Hebert is spelled Hebert. Herbert is spelled Herbert. You were talking about significantly different last names at that point. It was my big pet peeve growing up in Atlanta all the time where everybody would call me Herbert. It's like, not only are you saying it incorrectly, but you're even wrong about how you're saying it incorrectly. If If anything, it should be Hebert or Hebert, not Herbert. Just tiny pet peeve there. But I love Cam. Cam Jordan remains the man. I like seeing him get in the sack column last week. Hopefully that was the sign of things to come. Something interesting to note, Cam is normally like a play 90+% of the plays type of guy. Last year he dropped into the 80s. It paid good dividends. I think last week I want to say he was around 60 or 70% of the snaps. So maybe right now, and I don't know, maybe this is just a situation where you got to give Cam a little more rest if you're going to get peak level Cam.
Ross Dellinger talking college football next.
Off the bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily by Central Plumbing Company online, centralplumbing.org. 925-8552 is the phone number. Remember, you need residential or commercial plumbing services. Get online at centralplumbing.org. They can also help you out with full home generators. Don't forget about that at 925-8552, online, centralplumbing.org. Get in touch with the crew today over at Central Plumbing Company. Shout out to Jay Payne, Zach Payne, Brandon LeBlanc. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can dial them up at 925-8552.
That's right, 925-8552 for Central Plumbing. All of your plumbing needs under one roof. They got you, man. If you have an office building or you have a business for you business owners and you need all of your plumbing needs met, no matter how big the project is, they have the correct insurance, paperwork, and personnel to fulfill your needs. And speaking of big, right, because they can handle it all. They have a massive fleet. The only way you grow as much as they have in 40 years is if your customers are consistently satisfied. Figure out how high they are by going to centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
Off the bench, hanging with Esther and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
During times of trouble, hope keeps us calm, and courage keeps us strong. Here in Louisiana, we know this better than most. After all, we've faced hardship, but hurricanes and floods never washed away what makes us strong. It's our culture, the spirit of resilience that says rise and rise up again. We'll make it through the tough times, we always do. And Blue Cross will always be here to support you.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. We're live from the Sazerac House in New Orleans, counting you down to Monday Night Football, Saints and Chargers. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, talking college football weekly here on Off the Bench with Ross Dellinger from Sports Illustrated. It looks like they've got smoke coming off of the board back there. Maybe some more technical problems. That's all right. We'll get linked up here with Dellinger here in a couple of minutes. Remember, everything is podcasted.
I could talk about this game for hours. So, just let me know something that you want me to yell about and rail about, and we can do that dance.
Remember, we podcast everything that you can go back and catch here on Off the Bench. It's always brought back to you by Carriages of Baton Rouge. Check out Carriages online. They've got great social media. You can hit them on Instagram, Facebook. They're also on the corner of Old Hammond and Jefferson, where they've been since 1982. Remember, you can find Carriages online at carriagesbr.com.
I'm going to go get another LSU Hawaiian shirt from Carriages and just add to my ever-growing awesome collection.
Great selection, Tommy Bahama.
Yeah, for sure.
No?
Okay, if we don't have Ross, do we want to play the game that we kind of alluded to all day, which is let's look at the schedule and see how we actually think this could all play out as it stands today?
Sure.
Okay, so right now, because obviously the basis of this conversation is let's all be really honest. How bad is LSU really right now? When we talk about having all the good turnover margin, all these other things, that still losing to two teams that have looked utterly helpless offensively in the other two games. And I wanted to get Basilek's and Costello's numbers for the other two games. We all know how it played out. It speaks for itself. So right now left on the schedule, you got Florida, South Carolina, Auburn, Alabama, Arkansas, A&M, Ole Miss.
We are going to are we going to bump this, Musso? Should we take it here? No? All right, so we good to go? All right, Dellinger's joining us here from Sports Illustrated. Ross, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are y'all?
What the hell does LSU do about their defense?
You just got it. No banter this morning, huh, Jordy? What did I do? I don't know, man. I was fairly stunned. We talked last week about the adjustment that wasn't made against Mississippi State, and it almost felt like, okay, maybe this is a one game thing, a one adjustment thing that wasn't made. Clearly, it's not. Clearly, there are some issues that need to get rectified, and I'm not exactly sure, what needs to happen, but certainly there needs to be some changes on the way plays are at least called or drawn up, or the way players are taught or something. Because, gosh, it seemed like every time I looked up, there was a Missouri wide receiver was 10 plus yards from the nearest LSU person. I think there were at least probably 4 to 6 times I felt like that happened. And obviously that can't happen. And you know what it reminded me of, guys? The last time I saw an LSU defense like that was in 2015. I don't know if you guys remember that season, but LSU had real issues that year in the backfield. They played a lot of zone under Kevin Steele, and obviously LSU normally plays man to man, and they play a lot of zone under Steele. And for whatever reason, they weren't getting it. And it was a mess, and that's what it reminded me of. There was just busted coverages nonstop, and I don't know what the answer is, but clearly it's not just a one-game thing like we maybe thought against Mississippi State. That this is something deeper.
Ross Dellinger joining us here from Sports Illustrated. Tell me what you saw in Oxford on Saturday night, and did you expect Lane Kiffin to have this big of an impact on college football as he's had in the first three weeks that he's been coaching?
Well, I certainly didn't expect Alabama to give up 48 points, even against a coach who very much understands Alabama's scheme and the way they do things. So you expected he would exploited some of that, Lane Wood, and he did, but it was even it was even more of a boat race than I ever imagined for Alabama to give up 48 like that. And again, you got to think about the athletes that Alabama has on defense. So it's not just LSU that obviously struggling defensively. They might be struggling the worst of everybody. I think statistically they are. But it's Florida, it's Alabama, even it's of course Ole Miss. I should say statistically, I think Ole Miss is actually the worst defense in the SEC. And I think the worst in the nation, if not the second worst. So I think Ole Miss in some kind of insane stat. Ole Miss in A&M or Ole Miss in Florida, I think, and then LSU are like the bottom of three of the bottom four in total defense right now in the nation. I believe that's right. It's crazy. The SEC has taken quite a turn just in the last 2 to 3 years. We sometimes will go back to 10 years ago. Hey, you remember when this happened, like the 9-6 game? But just a couple of years ago, we everybody was playing pretty solid. It seemed like defense, but man, this is a bigger problem I think across college football. Pat Forty I think wrote in his 40-yard dash today about it. It's not just the SEC defensively. It is everybody. All the numbers, all the offensive numbers are up for whatever reason. Maybe it's just the lack of the scouting over the summer, spring practice, not happening. I don't know, but all the offensive numbers are high.
Yeah, the only thing about the Ole Miss to LSU defensive comparison is that Ole Miss has played Florida and Alabama in that mix. LSU has allowed a Mississippi State offense that has looked utterly helpless to dominate them, and then a Mizzou offense that looked utterly helpless to dominate them. I think that's why LSU fans are probably freaking out so much. Ross, let's look at the East. Tennessee, Georgia was a big matchup on Saturday. I have been very critical of Georgia, saying that like what they're doing offensively is just basically like Jake Fromm, but not as good. But then Stetson Bennett played a really good game on Saturday night, and obviously that Georgia looks like they may be the only team that has a defense in the entire SEC. What were your takeaways from the Volunteers versus the Bulldogs?
I think you're right. I think that Georgia appears so far through 3 games to have the best defense in the SEC and to be playing the style of game that lends itself to having a good defense. I think we have to remember that. A lot of SEC teams are chunking the ball around and just throwing it around and not having the time of possession, not keeping the ball, not helping their defense in any way. And I think that's probably contributing to things. Georgia's not. They're playing a fairly old school brand that they've honestly played for a long time, specifically under Kirby. I mean, they've been playing this way for a while. They play a game that is more of an old school football game where they run the ball a lot. They are very efficient in throwing the ball. They usually have a fairly good pocket style quarterback passer, and we're seeing that now. I mean, when you can put in your 4th string quarterback and go 3-0, that you have a good defense, a great offensive line, a solid running back. You've got the pieces around him. And I know I've said it on this show before, but Georgia signed the most 5-stars of any SEC team since Kirby's arrived the last 4 years, even more than Alabama. And it shows when you can put in your 4th string quarterback who's a walk-on and go 3-0 and look like they've looked pretty dang good, especially the last couple games. It's not like they were playing the little sisters of the poor, right? I mean, they played Auburn. They played
Tennessee held Missouri to 13 points.
Right. And then Georgia opened up at at Missouri, right? Then Georgia opened up at Missouri.
They did. Yeah, that's true.
They did to LSU. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's they've been impressive. And man, this game, I'm covering this game this weekend, and I don't get too excited too much nowadays for just covering a football game. It doesn't do it for me like I used to. But I'm telling you guys, I'm a little more excited about this one just because of the way Alabama's looked and the way Georgia's looked. And I just wonder if we're going to see finally Georgia and Kirby overcome the Alabama hurdle.
So let's just keep moving down the game list. Florida A&M, obviously, Ross, I think the biggest – I mean, this is exactly what Jimbo needed, kind of exactly when he needed it. What were your takeaways from that one?
Yeah, huge win for Jimbo. It's tough to – he was feeling – it was year 3 on that 10-year, $75 million deal, and everybody could still start was making a big deal out of it. After they lost to Alabama. They barely beat Vanderbilt to open the season. You could feel just the pressure ramping up on Jimbo and the contract and buzz around it. And so it felt like he really badly needed this. And I saw on the field he got really emotional with Kellen Mond, and I think he might have even been in tears. I mean, that shows you how big it was. It was a significant victory, and for Florida, it obviously was a really disappointing loss because once again, offense in the SEC did enough, you think, to win a football game. But the old 3rd and Grantham came back to get the Gators. I think A&M was some ungodly number on 3rd down, 12 and 15 or something like that. It was crazy.
Ross, one more then, because they were so good on 3rd down. Florida's bad at allowing them. LSU went 0 for 10 on 3rd down. What's going to give this weekend, right? Like, will Florida's terrible defense on 3rd down hold up, or will LSU's terrible offense on 3rd down find a way?
Yeah, you wonder if we're just not going to see a replay of Alabama Ole Miss. I mean, could we see them go up and down the field? Could the game be 55-45? Very well could. It's hard to see the LSU team that I've watched the first 3 games and see them win this football game. I know they can make some adjustments defensively. I'm sure they will. Surely they will. But man, Florida, it reminds me of LSU last year offensively. They do. They remind me of LSU last year. They have those threats at receiver and tight end, just like LSU did last year. Speed and size, and they've got a quarterback that is back there just delivering on the money and making great decisions. So LSU's defense of 2020 meets a version of LSU's offense from 2019, and I think the version of LSU's offense, Florida will probably have the upper hand there.
Ross Dellinger from Sports Illustrated every Monday here on ESPN New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Alexandria. Have a good week in Tuscaloosa and enjoy the game. Thank you, man.
All right, guys. See y'all.
Thanks, Ross.
Close at hour 2 next.
Off the bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily by All-Star Toyota. Remember, online at allstartoyota of BatonRouge.com. Get in touch with them on All-Star on the corner of Goodwood and Airline, where they've been since 2005. You can shop all the inventory there. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
All-Star Toyota, BatonRouge.com. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Look, if you're looking to purchase a new vehicle like I just did with that new minivan, All-Star's an incredible guide, right? You can start to explore on the website if you want, or you can just go see them off of Airline Highway. They can just bring you through that entire process because it can be overwhelming, and they're going to make sure that you get a deal that you feel great about. If you wanted Toyota certified used vehicles, you can get things like warranties that don't normally come with used vehicles through Toyota certified used vehicles. So check out that as well. Maybe you just need a rent for the weekend, right? You're going on vacation with family. You need a minivan just for a moment. Maybe you need a truck for a job. Go check out Lisa Sessions over there and let her get you exactly what you're looking for. Go to All-Star Toyota, BatonRouge.com today.
Our listeners fire up their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, We've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Started making beer at home and immediately fell in love with it. After like the day of my first batch of brewing, I was already thinking, can I do this for a living?
Oh yeah, obsessed with it. He was totally consumed by it, and then looked at me one day and told me I was put on this earth to brew beer. And I was like, wow, that is such a bold statement. And if you can say that about anything, then you need to follow your dream and do it.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. We're live from the Sazerac House in New Orleans, counting you down to Monday Night Football, Saints and Chargers. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, stick around. OTB OT coming up here on Off the Bench. Good stuff from Ross Dellinger this week, talking about last week's college football games. Big win for Jimbo Fisher. Another big outing for Sam Pittman in Arkansas. Big showing for Lane Kiffin in Ole Miss, even in a loss there. As Dellinger said, he will be in Tuscaloosa at Bryant-Denny Stadium this weekend covering a top 5 matchup between Alabama and Georgia, as the Georgia Bulldogs, they were in a tight one versus Tennessee for a half and then just kind of ran away with it late in the game. I saw where Georgia's given up 117 yards rushing this season in 3 games.
Yeah.
Total.
The only team that looks like they have a good defense right now, for sure.
Yeah. All right, so Monday Night
I'm sorry,
Football
I gotta
night?
be honest. I was looking at the chat, so I wasn't sure how we set up that Georgia comment.
Monday Night Football tonight as L.A., the Chargers, and the Saints. Before we got a little sound to get you out of here.
What's
from
going on
Cam
with
Jordan.
Bills Titans? Is it happening? Is it
Sean
tomorrow
Payton.
night?
Tomorrow night,
What's
6
the
o'clock.
latest?
Tomorrow
okay.
night, 6 o'clock. Yeah,
and so
making it
is there a doubleheader tonight? There's not. They moved that back today? I'm so confused.
Yes,
the
there's not.
The NFL is trying really hard to avoid the 18th week is what it would be. And it feels like a fight against time in terms of having to implement an 18th week of the schedule. But we'll see. Okay, yeah, so Bills Titans is set for tomorrow at 6 p.m.
Daily brought to you by Go Roof.
Tuesday,
Remember, online, we're at GEAUXroof.com, located here in Baton Rouge. In fact, you can get in touch with the boys this morning for a free professional estimate at 927-8300. Get in touch with Go Roof, whether it's residential or commercial roofing and repair, 927-8300.
How about a 2-year workmanship guarantee on top of the manufacturer warranty? Go Roof, 927-8300. What do you get, Jordy, when you go Roof?
A new roof every single time.
Yep. Missed beautiful, but outside of that, perfect. Roof's
You know
up.
what?
Roof's up.
Semantics on a Monday morning.
I mean, like there's a lot to critique today. You're right. That's very far down the. If anybody's worried about the Bills, because if you look at the NFL schedule right now, it says they're playing on Tuesday and Thursday. That is not going to actually happen. If that game gets played tomorrow night, from what I read in The Athletic last week, Chiefs Bills will get moved to Sunday. So if that game gets played tomorrow night, you will unless you move something else, you're not going to have a Thursday night football game this week.
OTBOT, T, what you talking about?
So we're going to do something that we're doing every Monday now, which is like a full unfiltered T-Bob's game takes, where I've got 9 pages of notes on this game film. And
Class
so
is in session.
we're going to run down them position group by position group and give you a few ideas of what we think.
Real quick, grade on the offensive line.
I mean, I don't know if I would assign a grade. I mean, just average. It was an average performance. Definitely left a lot to be desired, and really could not run the ball. You missed Ed Ingram terribly. Pass blocking, you weren't bad. I mean, there was room for improvement, but like for the most part, you kept Brennan clean. So the offensive line was very much okay, I thought. But the problem is it's not a very good Mizzou defensive line. Like I have it right here in the notes. I have major concerns about like Chasen Hines and Liam Shanahan when you run into the best D lines on the schedule. They could cause you some real problems.
Shout out to all the interaction today. Remember, we're on YouTube and inside the Bayou Ford chat app. Thanks for all the interaction on Saturday for Whiskey and Wine. It was fantastic over at Don Juan Cigar Bar. Shout out to David Richardson, builder and real estate agent, for his support on Whiskey and Wine. Hour 3. Well, D. Rich, looking to get in Willow Grove?
Yeah, dude. Why don't you come sponsor the 104.5 ESPN YouTube Fan Cave, which is also a lot of fun Saturday. Thank you to everybody who hung out.
Hour 3 next.
If you want to sponsor the Fan Cave, hit us up.
Wow.
How about that?
Off the bench with
Just throwing
Kalana and
lines out there,
T-Bob.
baby.
Holy.
Hey, why not?
Daily, we're brought to you by Ochsner Sports Medicine Institute. 3 locations, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Covington. Doesn't matter if you're a professional athlete, a weekend warrior, an ancient athlete, which looked like they were playing LSU defense this weekend. The Ochsner Sports Medicine Institute has what it takes to get you back in the game as quickly and as safely as possible. They're online, ochsner.org. Get in touch with them today at ochsner.org.
Ochsner.org. Go check out the site today, or just check out, look, whether you're on the North Shore, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Ochsner's got your back. If you have to have surgery, there's no place better. In terms of the actual OR room, the post-op rooms, the pre-op process, the physical therapy facilities and coaches, they are professional level, top to bottom. They are the best. But how about just getting bigger, stronger, and faster, right? Ochsner Performance Training. You want to work out. You want to maximize your potential. You're in high school, junior high, an ancient athlete, they got you. Go to ochsner.org and check out OPT, ochsner.org. T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs. Who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays? You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Ochsner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Ochsner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Ochsner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Monday, October 12th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see sunny skies with a high of 89. Coming up today on OTB OT, we continue to recap LSU's 45-41 loss to Missouri, and we'll also continue to preview Saints Chargers tonight in the Dome. Follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Get over to the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. You can watch the show live there and interact in the Bayou 4 chat. Make sure you're subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Set your notifications. New content is posted there daily. OTB OT starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
TBOT, hour number 3. T-Bob, Musso, and Danny hanging out with you as we always do. Recapping a weekend full of football. Sat on the couch yesterday, watched all those NFL games. Not a good day of NFL football. Were there any close games? I'm trying to think, man. Like, nothing stands out in my mind.
The Sunday night game was nice.
Giants Cowboys was actually surprisingly good.
That was
even
good.
With, the sad injury and, well, just the fact that both those teams are terrible. They still actually put on a good game.
That was about it.
Sunday night would have been excellent to watch. Unfortunately, I was rewatching this Saturday disaster from about 9 p.m. till 1 a.m.
You missed the Seahawks defense get shredded again.
Did they get shredded?
They gave up 446 yards and 200 yards on the ground without Dalvin Cook playing a second half.
I'm not
and
looking
they were
to,
never up 14 points, T-Bob.
I'm not looking to stand by any of my takes at this point. I was so off base this last week, and that sure, the Seahawks defense is bad, and
It's
I was
awful.
wrong.
They're terrible.
I have no desire.
All defense is terrible.
But the Seahawks are 5-0.
They are. They keep winning.
So put some spect on that name, man.
Let Russ cook.
Why are you shaking your head, Danny? You're just happy that you finally got to see Andy Dalton take some snaps for the Stars, aren't you?
No, the Saints are coming for the top of the NFC. Just
I mean, dude, I just don't see it.
They started off slow like every single year, and they're
I
coming.
mean,
They're creeping
I hope
up.
you're right. I hope they ball against the Chargers tonight. I mean, I really feel like as impressive as Herbert has been, you simply should win tonight because you're going against a rookie quarterback. Like, the Saints defense has struggled. They showed some improvement despite all the injuries last week. You have so many good veterans, whether it's Demario Davis, Cam Jordan. I mean, Lattimore. What's the status on Lattimore and Jenkins right now?
I saw Lattimore was likely to play, but I didn't see Jenkins.
Well, so Lattimore's another very good vet. Like, you should be able to handle Justin Herbert despite some of the highs that he's had this season. Like, he will still make the back-breaking mistake. So, I mean, I like the Saints. No Mike Thomas, though, is pretty wild. considering how we kind of spent last week talking about how, built this entire offense in his image, and you've just really, really missed him. And now on a day where Breeze's clock is going to be sped up because of those Chargers defensive ends, Mike Thomas not having, I mean, his availability, it's just wild to me that they're actually keeping him out from a disciplinary standpoint. That fight.
Willingly doing it.
Yeah, that fight with C.J. Gardner-Johnson must have been insane. So it is what it is. You made it without Thomas this far. You got to try to make it there again. I think why you need this game, too, a little extra is because the Bucs tripped up, right? I mean, the Bucs tripped up to that Bears team, which, like, sometimes you win enough, you start to believe in yourself a little bit. The Bears team, if Nick Foles gives you good quarterback play, all of a sudden, like, they're kind of relevant again. But either way, they beat the Bucs on Thursday night. They perfectly set you up to regain that division lead with a win tonight. So the Saints have to find a way to get it done, and it'll probably be a career. What is the status, Danny, of Ryan Ramczyk? Sorry, I'm so behind on my Saints player availability updates, because if you looked at last week when Ramczyk went down, these Saints could not run the ball at all. It was really astoundingly bad.
It was a concussion, so I think it should be good to go.
It's just those things are weird, right? Because it's just like some guys recover faster from them, other guys don't. There's the severity of the concussion. But yeah, generally, I mean, like, right, like I would have thought Ed Ingram, that was a concussion. I would have thought he would have been good to go. And then you desperately missed Ed Ingram in that game on Saturday. It's one of the key reasons why you could not run the ball at all. Okay, Laura Giat in the chat saying that Ramczyk is active. T-Font over under, how many penalty yards will the Saints finish with tonight? I mean, you could probably set that at 80, right?
Yeah. I mean,
that's pretty good. Like,
you wouldn't be crazy for taking the over.
Yeah, what would you do if the line was set at 80?
I mean, look, all it takes is one PI penalty, and that could be 40 yards, because every PI penalty is a spot foul in the NFL, which is stupid.
So whatever. I don't want to go on a tangent on this. I don't know if I think it's dumb or not.
I do.
Because the idea is then that people could just, if they're beat, they're going to foul, right? But you say, but in college that's the rule, and people don't just get beat and then foul. That is true, but guys in the NFL are way better and have the actual presence of mind where if they were beat, they could just tackle the guy, and it is what it is. But whatever. That's neither here nor there. Big game for the Saints tonight. Golden opportunity with the Bucs losing. You're against a rookie quarterback, even if he's pretty good. You must take advantage if you're this New Orleans Saints team. This is a must-win game here early on. In fact, you need to get as much headway in this 4-game stretch as you possibly can to set yourself up for that next match with the Bucs, which looks like it will likely decide the division. Though, look at Carolina now creeping in at 3-2. Like, they still don't feel good, but they are better than other bad teams in the league. Remember, they were supposed to be one of the worst 4 teams in the entire NFL.
They were supposed to be the Falcons.
Yeah, and then they lose Christian McCaffrey, and they get even better. That's how bad LSU's been. Dan Quinn got fired, and we haven't even talked about it. 5 games into the season, Quinn and Dimitroff out in Atlanta, and it was a blip on today's show's radar because the just horrible, putrid, Halloween-appropriate defensive performance we've seen from LSU has just, it's like a black hole sucking in all of the attention and headlines.
Felt about 3 weeks late on Dan Quinn and Dimitri, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the Dimitroff.
It felt about 3 weeks late.
Arthur Blank, I think,
it got done.
Has shown that for better or for worse, and I think the Saints are the same way and sometimes made people very angry. I mean, and look at the Pelicans. I think some of their philosophies have been the same. Better or for worse, they're going to let a guy completely exhaust all options before they finally make that call. And so Blank went about as far as he could with this squad before finally pulling the trigger.
You're not going to hire a coach tomorrow. So, I mean, you still have plenty of time to do the coach. It's not like they let the man coach the entire season like the Jets seem content with Adam Gase to do. But, so, I mean, they have time. It's not like them waiting these 3 weeks is going to set them back in the hiring process.
Everybody talking about hire Dan Quinn to LSU. I would love it. But, I mean, you got to imagine that Quinn's just going to back into a defensive coordinator role in the NFL. It's what all these head coaches do. Look at Jason Garrett, right? Getting the OC job up at the Giants. You know so many people, but beyond that, people still respect you generally as a coordinator. No, they respect Quinn defensively as a mind. And so, yeah, that would be the dream, but it ain't happening. He'll be in the league. Laura Gia disagrees. She says, I went and hired Dan Quinn to walk my dog. He's dreadful.
Ooh. think he could maybe handle that. I mean, come on now.
Okay, yeah. So that's tonight's Saints game. I don't have much more to say on it except that I simply expect the Saints to win because, as Danny said, after the slow start, they've been finding their form, especially offensively. I'm still looking for more from the defense. They had really good moments in the Detroit game. I don't think they finished particularly strong. I love the way that the offense ended up managing to finish it out, but if the offense had given the ball back, you would not have felt great about your ability to stop the Lions. So if I've had to focus on one area, it's actually not Drew Brees and the offense. It is that Saints defense tonight because they were the group that we thought could have been a top 10, pushing top 5 crew coming into the year, and they've been anything but thus far. All right, what we're going to do here, we're going to dive into this LSU schedule real quick and finish that conversation that we started a couple times today. And then next segment, we're going to do a long T-Bob's game takes, go through the 9 pages, give you my thoughts. I mean, not like word for it, but give you my thoughts on just every position group, what I thought out of the film for the LSU game. But first, let's look at this. Let's look at this schedule here. As you got Florida, South Carolina, Auburn, Alabama, Arkansas, A&M, and Ole Miss. Do y'all see any automatic wins on that schedule?
Not at all.
So unfortunately, I know that is true, right? Like I can agree with that because if you can't beat a Mizzou and Mississippi State team that has looked dreadful, how can I sit here and give you the benefit of the doubt? I will say I still believe that you are so much more talented than South Carolina and Arkansas that whatever, I'll be nice. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because this is where it gets real scary. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt in those games. I'll paint those as wins. But to be fair, I'm also going to paint Florida and Alabama as losses. So then what that becomes is I see 2 wins, 2 losses, and I see 3 question marks. Ole Miss, A&M, and Auburn. Where that becomes scary, if we just account for that 2-2 that we just alluded to, you're looking at a 3-4 record with those 3 question marks hanging in the balance. So that means you would have to win 2 of the 3 games that you feel uncomfortable about just to go 500. It's just to go 500. If you want to go 6-4, you would have to win 3 of them. And let's be clear, this LSU team, absolutely, they're capable of beating a Florida. I do not think they're capable of beating Bama. I do think that they're capable of beating Florida. I just don't think that we can sit here and say that that is likely or that we expect that to happen. But yeah, I mean, you can't feel good about Ole Miss now. And the reason being, I get that Ole Miss's defense is just as bad as LSU's. I mean, they are literal, like, carbon copy clones of one another. But Ole Miss's offense does show more consistency than LSU's offense. And LSU's offense got a lot of good, but there's still a lot to work on as well. And we'll get to that more in the game notes because we haven't really talked about it too much. But think about that. Would you all have ever guessed that? That you're looking at 3-4 and you got to beat 2 of Auburn, A&M, and Ole Miss just to hope to go to 500. And we clowned the over-under at 6.5 so hard when it came out of Vegas. Yet another humbling lesson for us here in the local media.
Yeah, we clowned their 14-point line against Missouri when the game moved too.
Called
we
it the mortal lock of the century. Yep.
No, I don't think anyone ever expected that. 500 for this year. I mean, I don't think anyone expected it to be last year. I know I personally didn't. I also didn't expect the team to implode. And that's basically what has happened through 3 weeks.
So, I mean, I guess the great hope would be that I do believe so much of the defensive struggles are scheme and kind of coaching based. The great hope is not that you can just drastically change things and become a good defense. The great hope is that you can just uber simplify things. Uber simplify. Because it can't be worse.
What do you do well?
What
do you do well? I know it's not much. It really hadn't been anything at this point.
It's just tough to see because because nobody knows what they're doing. So you can't even get an idea of how these guys are actually playing. And you're going to see that come up. But, you can't even get an idea of how they're actually playing because nobody knows what they're doing. So, if nothing else, the LSU defense can just go uber simple. Simple to the point of being a joke where you're just running a base defense. And you honestly should be able to put up better numbers than you have thus far. Even if you had been below average, you would be 3-0. It has taken historically bad performances up to this point to get to 1-2. So let's go to break right now, and then when we get back, let's dive deep into T-Bob's game notes as I will lay out my thoughts on every single position group, top to bottom, in this LSU Missouri disaster that got Brandon Walker texting me about immediately on Saturday after the game. We'll be back in more OTBOT.
OTB OT. We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
During times of trouble, hope keeps us calm, and courage keeps us strong. Here in Louisiana, we know this better than most. After all, we faced hardship, but hurricanes and floods never washed away what makes us strong. It's our culture, the spirit of resilience that says rise and rise up again. We'll make it through the tough times, we always do. And Blue Cross will always be here to support you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge. Innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. We're live from the Sazerac House in New Orleans, counting you down to Monday Night Football, Saints and Chargers. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back. OTBOT. Nothing like some good license-free country music bringing you back here early on a Monday morning. A jaunty tune that is entirely too happy for what we are about to engage in. So before we get into my film review, just some food for thought here. Do y'all want to look at Bazelak and Costello's other two games when they didn't play LSU? So
Do we have to?
Costello in his other two games combined to pass for 540 yards. So he didn't even hit, even in that Mike Leach offense, he did not hit in two games what he hit against LSU in one. And what he throws, 6 touchdowns, 2 picks against LSU. In the other two games, he has thrown 1 touchdown and 7 picks. Connor Bazelak, in his other two games against Alabama, he was 7 of 14 for 68 yards. No touchdowns, no picks. And then against Tennessee, he was 13 of 21 for 218 and 1 INT. And then you saw what he did on Saturday. He completed 85% of his passes for over 300. And how many touchdowns was it by games in? I don't even know, dude. It's unbelievable. I mean, if that doesn't drive the hammer home that these are bad teams that you lost to and they looked incredible when you played them. I mean, think about it. The Mike Leach success spawned an entire week's worth of articles where people were like, ooh, can the SEC handle the air raid? Can the SEC? Yeah, the SEC can. LSU cannot. Let's dive in to our LSU film review. So how I'm kind of thinking about structuring this, we'll get into some general thoughts. Then I'll get into offensive thoughts. We'll go position by position. Then we'll get into some defensive thoughts. And there's a couple other sections I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to handle because they're going to translate great on the radio, but like I breakdowns of every third down and where it went wrong and breakdown of every 10-plus yard play that LSU gave up, which again, LSU, by my count, had 19 plays given up of 10 yards or more. That is unbelievable, and that is a sign of a defense who just has no idea what the hell is going on. So, general thoughts, going down the list. Cade York, even with the missed kick, pretty damn good. Pretty wild that this cat is 6 of 7 on 50-plus yarders. I mean, even in the NFL, that's a coin flip kick for even the most elite kicker. So good on Cade York. Good on Zach Von Rosenberg while we're talking special teams. Loved Racy McMath making the forced fumble there. I mean, not just being an impact player on offense, but still continuing to do excellent work on special teams. So pretty good on special teams. Other kind of general game notes. I thought Drinkwitz and Mizzou did a good job of playing like an underdog. When you are not expected to win, if you play in a traditional fashion, you will basically guarantee that you lose. I think you have to be willing to be more risky if you're an underdog. You have to be more creative, and maybe it makes you lose worse in the end, but it's also, ironically, your best path to success. And so the flea flickers, the wildcat formations, even something that is dumb as a fake punt coming out of a timeout. Like, that was crazy, but they were still going for it, right? Though by game's in, you realize you probably just could have lined up and just beaten him straight up. So it's essentially what you did. Now, let's dive into the offense. Some good stuff here. Lost in the shuffle on the opening drive. I loved the aggressiveness of going for it on 4th and 5. That is the type of offensive aggression that it's going to take when you look at how bad the defense is going to be this year. As we said, you have to adopt the same mindset that Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin has. You have to fully expect the opponent to get a touchdown every time they touch the ball and then make decisions based off that assumption. It's very freeing, right? Like you said, there's no difference in Mizzou marching 50 yards to score because you tried to do an onside kick versus 80 yards to score because you just gave them 80 yards to go. As far as the offensive line goes, yes, from a play calling standpoint, I've seen a lot of criticism over LSU not running the ball. And certainly they could have called more run plays, but to be quite frank, the O-line didn't run block well at all. I mean, what was it, like 2 yards a carry? Holes were never really there. At the end of the game, they started to open up a bit, but I kind of understand how LSU fell into such a pass-happy rhythm, given that every time they ran the ball, it just felt like a wasted play. When I look at the offensive line play, you cannot overstate the absence of Ed Ingram. The drop-off from him to Charles Turner is extreme. It's like a Grand Canyon cliff type of drop-off, and that's not even a slight at Turner. I mean, Ed Ingram's just your best offensive lineman, and Turner's someone who is getting his first ever in-game action, so of course it's not going to be close. One thing I kind of liked, Cam, you saw the emerge of the depth that Cam Wire gives you. Deculus goes down. Wire shifts from left tackle to right tackle. Rosenthal comes in, so you got a little bit of juice there on the edge. Also, I don't know why they didn't stick with this. Maybe I missed something where he screwed up very badly, but Cam Wire actually had some left guard snaps as well, where I thought he played well. I thought he looked better from Turner, so I wouldn't be surprised if Ingram does go down again, if Wire's not just the swing tackle, but maybe he's even that interior guy as well. I think that Chasen Hines and Liam Shanahan struggled, especially in the run game. They could not move those backup Missouri defensive linemen, and I think when they run into the best defensive lines on the schedule, they're going to have a bad time. In terms of sacks and pressures, there were some misidentified Mike calls, which led to pass pro breakdowns. There were pressures guys getting beat, but on the whole, the pass protection was actually pretty solid. Also, that's a function of Miles doing a good job of, again, pocket presence. In this game, he was very good rolling when he needed to and making quick decisions. As far as the receivers go, Arik Gilbert and Terrace Marshall are some whole beasts, and they will continue to be so. And I hope that Arik Gilbert is at full health because, I mean, the way that he started that game was unreal. Why he wasn't a factor in those final goal line plays, I'm not entirely sure. We'll get to that. And then let's talk about the Torrey Carter thing, because a lot of people are upset that you threw the ball to Torrey Carter. But here's the deal. Torrey Carter is the backup tight end. Now, you could say that, okay, well, if Arik goes down, I don't want to have formations where the tight end is out there. But I think LSU still felt like a lot of their best plays were out of these formations. And as a quarterback, although you'd be like, why are you throwing to Torrey Carter? A quarterback ultimately has to make the best decision that the defense is giving him. And when you look at the balls that Carter dropped, I believe one was on a 3rd and 7 where you would have a chance to get the first down. There was obviously a touchdown at the end. Those were the correct decisions, and they were good throws. And unfortunately, Carter just couldn't haul them in. So, like, yeah, I ideally, you don't want to go to Carter there, but, like, just because how the depth chart shapes out, I don't know if you have much of a choice. The one thing I would say, I don't want Miles to, like, just avoid throwing there because he's in the game. If it's the right choice, it's the right choice. I think maybe the coaching staff looks at, okay, how can we make sure that he's not out on those routes? Keyshawn Butte had a nice game. Very much lost in the shuffle. You saw him make some plays, first kind of action. He almost got one of those third downs late. Had the screen blocking been a bit better, again, you missed Ed Ingram. They did a wide receiver tunnel screen where this was last week how Ed Ingram sprung Jontre Kirkland, basically pancaking a guy 10 yards. Charles Turner just was not fast enough out there, and he ends up getting chopped down right for the first down marker. But Butte had a nice few catches, made nice few plays. All right, let's move on to running back. I, too, want John Emery to play more. I don't get why he didn't get touches early on. That said, let's not act like he played well this game. He dropped 2 passes. He had the one pass where it wasn't where to start the game where it was thrown behind him and he got lit up. I mean, that's just a bad break and a bad way to start your day. But it's hard to say like you want to have full trust in this guy when he had the 2 drops on plays where you needed him. So sure, I want John Emery to play more, but again, let's not act like he played very well. In fact, I don't know if anybody played very well out of the running back room. They weren't asked to do a lot. Tyrion Davis-Price probably had the best game. He had some nice moments. Chris Curry continues to be a non-factor, unfortunately. So about Miles Brennan. He played fantastic. There is a huge disconnect on third down still. A lot of that is a function of getting into these 3rd and long situations. But as we said, even against Vanderbilt, you averaged 3rd and 6, and you were still bad on 3rd down. So I don't know if it's like the pressure of the situation, feeling uncomfortable with your reads on the down. Like something is not translating from downs 1 and 2 to 3rd down, and you've got to get it figured out. But if we're looking at Brennan's overall arc in these 3 games, it's a very impressive trajectory. Every week you're seeing him clean up mistakes, and every week you're seeing him elevate his play. Now, obviously, when you play the better defenses and the better teams in this league, I don't know if that will continue on that just straight path upwards. But I thought he played really well. I mean, you just look at the touchdown throws. That first throw to the corner under pressure was a thing of beauty. You talk about dropping it in the basket. That's literally what it was. Beautiful touch on that throw as well, right? The second touchdown, hit as he throws, he hits that little rollout, hit as he throws, hits Marshall on the crossing route. Free blitzer off the backside, scrambled by just enough time. Really like that one. The third touchdown to Arik Gilbert right after the fumbled punt. What I thought was interesting about that is LSU lines up trips to the right. They put Arik on the left, so basically he ends up in man coverage. You'll take that every time. Little easy slant, perfect throw. And then that fourth touchdown, that 75-yard touchdown. I mean, dude, Miles Brennan throws a pretty deep ball. I mean, he hit Marshall over the safety's head in stride. Marshall could not. I mean, he just run full speed. No change in anything you are doing needed. What did y'all think? I'll bring y'all in on this real quick. What did y'all think about Brennan trying to lower the shoulder on the sideline and run old boy over?
Please don't do that. Stop. I don't need, with that defense out there on the field, I don't need a true freshman playing the final 7 games at quarterback for this team.
That's
fair.
fair.
I admire the effort. Stop it.
Yeah,
don't do it anymore.
I'm in the same way. I don't want him to do it. Danny?
Yeah, he's not Josh Allen. He can't do that yet.
No, not Josh Allen. But is there at least an element that you can appreciate of like,
I love the grit.
Yes.
Love the grit.
Trying to, because you could see he made a conscious decision where he was going out of bounds and he said no, and he planted that foot. And yeah, he's trying to show that, look, I'm not the only guy. You know, I don't have to slide either. That said, just slide from here on out. It's cool. You know, we trust your toughness. I've seen you get lit up against Vanderbilt. I've seen you get lit up against Mizzou and still play great. So I don't think Miles has anything to prove in that department. Let's talk about the goal line before we move on to defense, because the 4th down goal line stand from the 1 is the salt in the wound to just drive home how bad this game really was. A lot of talk on the play calling. One thing I don't love right now, okay, so my main issue with the play calling is this, is that the first 3 plays were one-option plays. 2 were runs, and 1 is basically a designed, very quick play action little screen thing to Gilbert, right? Or excuse me, to Marshall. And the problem with that is Brennan was the best player in this game for you. He's the one that even had you in a position to win the game. So I hate that when you had 4 plays from the 1, you really only gave him options on 1 play. Like you only trusted him for that 4th down play. On 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, he had no read. It was hand it off, and then I know I'm faking the handoff. I'm going to throw this quick little out. And everybody was zeroed in on Terrace Marshall by that point. The play action on 3rd down did absolutely nothing. So another thing that I don't love is LSU has become uber predictable with their back-to-back quick zone runs in short yardage situations. You saw it throughout the entirety of last season. They've carried it through to this season, and Mizzou knew, and they hit him with looks that LSU had not seen yet, and, well, you saw what happened. So that would be my biggest problem there. Also, on the 4th down, if we do want to nitpick, Brennan had Kirkland on the backside. Marshall had garnered so much attention that on that backside slant, Kirkland had won his route. He was on the inside, but Brennan was locked in on number 6, which I guess it's hard not to be locked in on number 6. And then I guess, I mean, I should have said this in receiving, but it just kind of goes without saying, but Terrace Marshall's unbelievable. And on a day and in a season where everybody is losing money all over the field, Terrace Marshall is one of the sole few that is constantly making money. There's also a dark part of my heart that wonders what this could have been with Jamar Chase. But that's fine. I mean, you don't want to go there. You're gonna drive yourself crazy. All right, let's get into these defensive thoughts. These are not going to be as positionally related, though I will still go by position group because so much of this is just overall dysfunction. I think that Bo Pelini's antics on the sideline are embarrassing. I think that yelling at players when every player doesn't seem to consistently doesn't seem to know what to do, like, sorry, coach, that's on you. And it's obvious that the players are not responding to the yelling. As a player, there's nothing more frustrating when you already don't respect a guy or believe in his plan, and then he's just constantly and incessantly yelling at you. I mean, you just tune it out at a certain point. And I tweeted this last night. I noticed this halfway through the first quarter, and it stuck throughout the entire night. No exaggeration. I have never seen a defense look as constantly confused as the one I just watched on film. Mizzou's pre-snap movement had their heads exploding. They played so slow because of it the entire night. It looked like they were thinking more than they were playing. LSU was barely set when Mizzou was snapping the ball, and they weren't going that fast. Ole Miss was fast. Like, that was the fastest tempo I've ever seen. LSU will still be in the huddle when Ole Miss is snapping the ball if they don't get it right. I think Drinkwitz knew that LSU players didn't fully understand their responsibilities. He knows that Pelini's scheme requires constant adjustments to account for offensive adjustments. And I think Drinkwitz knew that when he moved guys around and it kept LSU trying to switch responsibilities right before the snap, that they would put blood in the water and they would fail. It just, again, the same way that in week one you didn't look like a team that was prepared for anything that Mississippi State was doing offensively. You looked like you were not prepared for anything Mizzou was doing. The linebacking play was horrible. They play so passive. I mean, don't ever get within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage after the ball is snapped. They're waiting for the ball to come to them, waiting for blocks to come to them. It's opened up massive cutback lanes. It's a big problem in the 4-3, especially because the front seven is supposed to be the heart and soul of the 4-3, and nothing's working. And right now, Damone Clark is really struggling to keep up with the speed of the game. And him dancing after the TFL when it was 38-31 was embarrassing. Double damning for Pelini that this is his position group that looks so poor. And it's just wild. Every time Mizzou ran the ball, first contact on the running back was not coming until 5 yards deep. You got dominated on line. You got dominated in second level. Let's talk about the secondary. I see why LSU didn't run any zone against Mississippi State. They're garbage at it. I don't know if they just installed more of it, but it looks like they haven't practiced much of it. No one knows their responsibilities. It's horrible through and through. And really, the miscommunication on the secondary is just horrible. Every single big play. I mean, I charted 19 of them. I tweeted out my notes on it. Every single play at the snap, there's guys pointing to each other, not knowing what's going on. Look at the Eli Ricks busted coverage touchdown, where at the snap, him and Todd Harris both point to each other and say something to each other as the ball's being snapped. They're obviously saying, like, you have this, right? And they actually have no idea what's going on. Defensive line, again, you got dominated. You got blown off the ball all night. I don't know that Ollie Gay is a particularly good run stopper. No pass rush all night, save for a nice rush from Andre Anthony and B.J. Ojulari. B.J. Ojulari continues to be actually really good, though. I mean, that sack force fumble was a great pass rush. And again, why this is so concerning is this entire defensive scheme success hinges on great D-line play. And it's just not there right now. And then again, you get into the 19 plays of 10 yards or more, and it's everything. It's everything, right? There's a flea flicker where you bite on the pitch and you get beat, but also you had a corner blitz on that should have stopped the flea flicker, but responsibility confusion meant that Stingley wasn't ready for the snap, to the point where the corner blitz was so slow that Roundtree got the handoff, pitched it, and then picked up Stingley off of the edge to then throw the flea flicker touchdown. And of course, Stevens, Maurice Hampton, bad discipline. They bite. He had a 15-yard gain in 33, terrible zone defense. A 29-yard touchdown run where there's a missed tackle from Cox and then no other linebackers to be found anywhere. A 30-yard crossing route where Damone Clark's way behind. There was a beautiful 3rd and 7 shovel pass where they did this little pre-snap motion at Damone Clark. It looks like an Abbott and Costello thing. Damone Clark and Jabril Cox are switching and running back and forth, and it's like a tennis match. They're moving side to side. They shovel pass you up the middle. It's just everything. I mean, the big plays are everything. In every way that you could have screwed up, it's actually similar to the offense in that way. They found something to screw up every third down. And LSU did a much worse job of getting into third and manageable. And it's really highlighted offensively by that final sequence in which, on a drive when you had to have it, you get to 3rd and 18. And it's not that you were ever going to get the 3rd and 18, but it's how you got there that kind of exposes some of the remaining flaws of this LSU offense. You had the drop Torrey Carter TD. Then you had Brennan try to run instead of throwing it away. Then you had a delay of game penalty. And then Brennan gets lit up when the O-line makes a bad protection call and you have a blitzing middle linebacker. So it's just like right now on 3rd down offensively, it's no one thing. It's a whose turn is it now to screw this up. And again, to go to coaching, look, Joe Brady was in charge of 3rd down and red zone. You are struggling in those departments thus far. You know, we're not in those meeting rooms, but it just logic says that we're going to criticize Scott Linehan for that. That's the role that you have taken over, and it's been bad. It's been bad even to the point where we highlighted it coming into this week, and it got even worse. So Those are your T-Bob game takes. I know that was very long, but there's a lot of bad to break down. And the unfortunate part about the defense, like offensively, I can still break down things like technique and stuff, and that's great. On the defense right now, you can't even break down technique just because there's no, like, the confusion is so much and it's so bad that nobody's playing with any technique. Guys aren't set when they're snapped. They're talking. It's just, it's a parade of errors right now. And I don't know that you can get it fixed, but if I were to get it fixed, I mean, it cannot be worse than it is. Don't call anything but your base defense the entire game and just hope for the best. That would be better than what you've seen thus far out of LSU. All right, T-Bob's game takes in the notes. Come back more OTBOT next here on, look, how about we do this? If you want to get any questions in from the game, if you put them in chat right now, I will answer them next segment. This is OTBOT here on 104.5 ESPN.
OTBOT.
Remember, Hooters is your headquarters for football. And if you're thinking about things that could maybe make you feel better after witnessing what you had to witness Saturday, some delicious Hooters wings tossed in that classic sauce bouse could be exactly what you're looking for. I know Danny's looking for the Hooters girls, but you can still get Danny. You can go into Hooters. It's still there. You got all the TVs, the wings, the beer, the sports, but they fill up fast, right? Limited capacity. So if you can't make it into Hooters on game day, bring the Hooters to you. That's right. Download the app right now on your phone. You'll get a free appetizer when you do so. It's one of many great drinks and food deals that you can get. So if you look, you don't want to cook on Saturday. You got people coming over. You're watching the game at your house, like many of us are this year. Don't do dishes. Just get on the app. Go to Hooters.com. Order your wings to fly. You got delicious food. Everybody's happy. Except if you're watching the game. But, you're happy because the wings, at least. Food covers up pain a lot of times. Go to Hooters.com.
Football's back. Tune in tonight as we wrap up a full weekend of NFL coverage. It's Monday Night Football as Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints host the Los Angeles Chargers. The NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
When morning came to Louisiana, we were hopeful, not hibernating. We were mending fences, feeding neighbors, and holding our kids. When morning came to Louisiana, we were wide awake, planting seeds for next year's crops. We were stronger, ready for what's next. And together, as we build anew, Blue Cross stands ready to support you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7, The Tiger.
Gulf Coast Bank and
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. We're live from the Sazerac House in New Orleans, counting you down to Monday Night Football, Saints and Chargers. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Spooky season. This act's put me in a good mood. I don't know. This music is. It's great. Did y'all watch anything scary this weekend? Outside of the LSU football
I was about to say,
game?
yes. I mean, we've been talking about it all day long.
I watched the show. I don't know if it's like great, but it is interesting. Monsterland. You heard about this?
Nah.
I don't know what its Louisiana ties are, but the first episode is set in Fouchon. And then it's like an anthology thing. So it's horror episodes, hour long, but each story is self-contained. It's its own story, which I really like that for a horror. What?
Fiction?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But like multiple episodes set in Louisiana. Monsterland.
That makes sense.
If anybody wants something. Yeah. I mean, yes, we have a lot of
history.
A lot of
with
stuff that
the
you can pull
paranormal.
from. Yes, I would say. Alex Anderson, I really like this comment from the 104.5 ESPN YouTube chat. Blaming the players right now for their plays, like blaming a whole class for failing the test at some point on the teachers not teaching. Yeah, like I see a lot of people saying, like, it's not the coach's fault the players don't know what to do. Well, it actually is exactly just that. If everybody knows what to do and one guy doesn't know what to do, yes, then that's when you can say, okay, well, that player is struggling with it. When nobody knows what to do, then, yeah, at what point do we blame the teacher? John Quave saying John Emery needs to be a main focus for this offense to be talented, not to have 15 to 20 catches per game, 10 to 12 carries, 3 to 6 catches. So, I mean, look, I agree with you. He's your best option, but John Emery has to prove it. He's shown consistent ball security issues, and he dropped 2 passes last game, 2 big ones that you needed. Paul Kellogg, Living Lambo says, T-Bob, what makes it so difficult for players to know their assignments? Is it just shifts and change of responsibilities? I guess my question is what makes Pelini's defense so difficult? So, I can't fully answer that because I'm not in those meeting rooms, right? My outside looking in opinion, and this is just my read, so this could be wrong, is that it seems to be a defense that is predicated on guys knowing their exact responsibilities. And those are, it's not a defense where, like Dave Aranda's defenses a lot of times are much more base and a little more amorphous, where you didn't have to react to a lot of what the offense was doing because it didn't change your responsibilities. It seems like everything the offense does changes your responsibilities in this scheme, and it's just it's leading to way too much thinking. Marcus Gary, do you think O is facing a lose the locker room moment with this Pelini hire? It's obviously a disaster, worried if it'll affect recruiting. I don't think you're there yet, but when you feel like a coach isn't any good, and I don't know if they feel like that, we'll have to see how the players respond to him. When you feel like he's not good, and then maybe you're not really jiving with his style compared to Aranda's, like, you can yell at guys if they believe in you. If they don't believe in you, yell at them, then that's really bad. As far as affecting recruiting, I don't think it will yet. But you do have to try to avoid an unmitigated disaster because, then it could. And if the defense does go terribly badly, it is going to be tough to convince guys like Corey Foreman that they should come play and Mason Smith that they should come play in this LSU defense. Laura Giat, I know this seems irrational, I know, and I typically hate an overreaction, but is Coach O going to pull a Gene Chizik? No, I mean, I don't believe so. Look, when LSU won the Natty in 2007, they go 8-5 the next year, 3-5 in the SEC. I think this team is still more talented. I think the program has more talent than you had during those days. And you were back a couple years later than Natty again. Like, the overall future health of the program looks really solid right now. It's just they got to figure out what they are going to do defensively. I hate to do it so quick, but, the T-Bob game notes went so long. So we're going to go to break, and then when we get back, get to more of your comments, close of the show. And remember, we go straight to Hanging with Hanny and Hester after this show, and they'll bring you straight into the Ogeron press conference, and then they will react to the press conference. So keep it locked right here on 104.5 ESPN.
OTB OT. Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday Night Football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I can't tell you how many people tried to discourage me when I said, I'm opening up a haunted house. If you love doing something, don't let anything or anyone stand in your way.
How he comes up with this stuff in his head and designs it is mind-boggling.
Debbie and Home Bank understand my business and understand that it's not normal. They've worked with me since the beginning to help my business grow.
During times of trouble, hope keeps us calm, and courage keeps us strong. Here in Louisiana, we know this better than most. After all, we've faced hardship, but hurricanes and floods never washed away what makes us strong. It's our culture, the spirit of resilience that says rise and rise up again. We'll make it through the tough times, we always do. And Blue Cross will always be here to support you.
Hey, football fans, T-Bomb here, reminding you that Hooters is your headquarters for football. If you can't get in, they still got the Hooters girls, the TVs, the wings, the beer, everything you love about game day. But what if you're watching at your house? Maybe having some people over. You don't feel like cooking? Well, great. Hooters, they have your back. You download the Hooters app. You'll get a free app, and then you go and you pick up the food. You bring it home. Everybody loves you because you got Hooters wings and game day. It's a match made in heaven. Download the app. Get Hooters to go. Hooters, your headquarters for football.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank, invested in technology with a local touch. Giving.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. We're live from the Sazerac House in New Orleans, counting you down to Monday Night Football, Saints and Chargers. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back. OTBOT. Cobwebs on the logo. Spooky season's here. I do find that talking through all this stuff makes me in a better mood by the end of the show than I was at the beginning of the show because, obviously, like I said, I didn't even have a weekend winner prepared coming in today because of how twisted up I was in my head about having to watch that film last night. Let me see. John says, I want to see some of Josh White and Antoine Sampa and Micah Baskerville. Get other guys some time. It's an interesting thought, right? And it's not just that position group. You can apply to a lot of position groups. Like, if those groups are playing so poorly, at what point do you look at other options? And the only way, again, that I could try to parse through it outside looking in as to why you haven't tried that yet is I think that a lot of these struggles are mental or understanding what to do right now, right? And so if guys aren't playing, even the guys in front of them aren't playing well at all, that tells me that the guys who are not playing probably know even less of what to do than the guys who are. So again, simplify everything. If you had been a below average defense, you would be 3-0. So your goal doesn't need to be good. Your goal needs to be, let's be average. Let's be below average. That should be the goal for LSU's defense this year. And maybe the best way to do it is to make things as simple as possible and accept that you're going to get beat a lot, but accept that you will at least win sometimes. You'll win some. And then that also allows you to roll more players in if you do that as well. Right, that's going to do it for OTBOT. A few housekeeping notes. It really helps us when you share the stream and everything. Keep it locked right here on 104.5 ESPN all day long. Like we said, extended hang-in with Hanny and Hester. We got the Ogeron press conference coming up. Very interested to see what Coach O says after watching that film. And then look, subscribe to Off the Bench's YouTube channel. You get all of these highlight segments on demand. The OTB OT channel, which we get more of our Saints and NFL talk. And come hang out with us on Saturday in the Fan Cave. It's a very good time. Drink beers, talk football. The 104.5 ESPN YouTube chat Fan Cave. And if you want to sponsor it, hit me up. Huge thank you to Matthew Musso, Danny Cardenas. Y'all are the best. And so as all of our wonderful listeners, viewers, y'all are the best. We'll see you later.
OTB OT.
When morning came to Louisiana,